Mission Control, Houston. Acquisition at Hawaii.
Challenger Houston, with you through Hawaii for 7 minutes.
Roger, Houston, loud and clear.
Roger, and just a note for you, Richard, and for the rest of the crew, inset had a successful AKM burn this morning. And I have another question for you when you guys have a minute.
Sure, go ahead.
Roger, on STS-8, Richard, when you had a chance to first use the arm, you didn't really have a payload on it. I wonder if you could comment on any differences you might have noticed between the way the arm behaved on STS-8 and on the PFTA exercises you've just completed.
One of the things that we were going to do later on this evening was to have Dale kind of give a qualitative debrief of his flying today. He did it all, and I assisted him. I guess my memory would be best, my comments would be valid only, I guess, in the unloaded mode, and frankly, I don't recall the arm being quite as lightly damped as I've seen it in the unloaded mode, and I did not remember the elbow operating as I asked yesterday, unloaded, and that is when you command an elbow in a positive direction, occasionally it moves and then slows down and moves again. The arm, however, was all day today was operating very smoothly. I'll leave it to Dale to describe the dynamics to you, but boy, it sure is a fine piece of machinery, and it worked like a champ today.
Roger, that's good to hear, and we'll stand by for Dale's comments at his convenience.
Okay, it won't be this fast because we need to talk about it a little bit, but sometime later on this evening. How long is your team on, Fish?
Richard, we're on about another 3 hours.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll certainly get to, Dale and I will talk, and I'll get him to do that before long, and also sometime later on this evening, Bill Thornton is planning on giving you another medical measurements summary. And if there's anything else we need to talk about, just let us know. We'd be glad to.
Roger, we copy that, and we'll look forward to Bill's observations.
You bet. Houston, MS3.
Roger, go ahead.
Yeah, Fish. Why don't we run through, since I didn't give you one yesterday? I think I gave all the times that were needed for the data. In addition, we did, I dumped all the monitoring that had been previously done, did physicals, heights, leg plethysmography, visual acuities, 5 sets of eye-hand coordinations, air samples were taken, the animals were monitored, and the last piece of downlink data that they have to worry about is 01, that's day 1, 11 hours and 36 minutes. Today, we've done additional leg plethysmography, additional heights, and I did Wendy Angelo's biofeedback, the first one this afternoon. We've done threshold audiometry. We've done audiometric evoked potentials, did the ophthalmoscopy, and ran into a couple of problems. I've had to make some repairs to a little refrigerator, and then had to abort the the direct writing recorder, and I'll fall back and pick that up. In addition, we've checked out a number of other items which we will be using tomorrow, the VOR turntable and gyroscopes and some items such as that. Then there are a whole rash of details that I've been doing. Do you have any questions or comments?
No questions, Bill. That about covers it. It sounds like you've gathered enough data to keep you busy for at least 2 or 3 weeks after you get back.
Well, I expect so. Fish, I would appreciate your telling Tom Moore and Fred Spross and some of the people like that what a fine job they did on getting this hardware together, and I sure appreciate the meticulous attention to detail. It pays off in flight.
Roger that, Bill. We'll be sure they get the message. One other thing for the crew, I've got a short flight note for you here when you're ready.
Roger, who was that for, Fish?
Oh, whoever's close to it, Richard. We see indications that the WMS gate valve did not fully seat after the last use. We would just like you to cycle that valve.
Okay, we'll check it.
Roger.
This is LS3 again. I also forgot to say that the fluid study samples are being routinely collected.
Roger, Bill. We copy that.
And Houston CDR, the last user of the gate valve is heading back to check it, and just let you know the system is working as designed.
Roger, we copy, Richard. We're 25 seconds LOS. We'll try and pick you up shortly afterward on Tidris. If not, it'll be Santiago at 8+24.
Mission Control Houston. Loss of signal at Hawaii. Now attempting to lock up on the S-band and KU band. Uplinks to the Teeters satellite. We're starting to get low bit rate telemetry now out of Teeters, through Teeters.
Challenger Houston with you on Tidris. How copy?
Loud and clear, Houston.
Roger, we've got you loud and clear, Richard.
And Fish, MS1, I've got a few minutes now. Would you like to have that RMS summary?
Roger, we're ready. Go ahead, Dale.
Okay, the first thing that Richard and I want to pass on is a kudo to all the folks that worked on the checklist. You guys probably saw from your own data, we started essentially right on time to the minute, and we finished 1 minute and 30 seconds prior to what the checklist said, which I think was 2 days, 7 hours, and 30 minutes. The flow through the checklist went very well. We made a couple little mistakes, which you helped us correct, but we expected that with with the long flow that we had. The performance of the arm was excellent. With the PSDA on there in both the auto and the manual augmented modes, movement was very smooth. There was probably some dynamics there, but it was practically unnoticeable once you started flying it around and got the feel of it. In single and direct, it was a little bit different. The dynamics were very noticeable, especially in direct. Large oscillations occurred after fairly large inputs. I guess the direct berthing would be the best way to describe that. The dynamics were, surprisingly enough, very much similar to the MDF. When you put in a shoulder pitch or an elbow pitch down, you'd have to sit and wait sometimes maybe 15, 20, 30 seconds to let the oscillation stop to see what you would gain and then decide on your next move. The hardest part of the direct berth was, as it is in the MDF, once you're down in the vicinity of the ready-to-latch switches, it becomes very confusing because you'll get 1 or 2 ready-to-latches, then they will trip out and you'll get a couple more, and you end up having to go down in, come back out, go down in, making multiple attempts to try to get all the roll and pitch errors out, and finally get the 4 ready to latches. We told you what happened on several occasions when we got 4 ready to latches. I'd then take the brakes off, and the PFTA would visibly rise up out of the guides an inch or two, and we'd lose the ready to latches. And we did as you suggested, and with the brakes on, just went ahead and latched. That worked perfectly okay. And then we lift the arm post latching the PFTA in. That's about all I can think of. If you have any more questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Roger, Dale. We'll look around the room here and see if any questions develop. I guess you guys have another chance tomorrow to come closer to finishing on time and instead of a minute and a half early.
Hey, Fish, adding one more to our list of camera woes. We've had some sort of problem with the elbow camera also. Richard and I can't really tell what it is. It doesn't appear to want to focus or zoom properly. You can get a picture in there that's somewhat usable, but it's blurry, and it's hard for us to tell if it's just a focus problem. It almost looks like the camera, somehow looked at the sun or something, and it's just not quite operating properly now. We'll try to look at it again tomorrow and describe it better.
Roger, Dale. We copy.
One additional clue on the elbow camera may be that it had been on for some period of time. However, we had not been using it. And when it came time to select it and use it again, when I first tried to focus it, I actually thought I was looking at some kind of a weird VTR playback or something, because there were large, bright and dark images on it, and it looked like they were. It looked like it was looking at a bright object, and then very close to that, something like a wavy cable or something was in front of the lens. It was very unfocused. However, I was able to eyeball directly at the camera, and that obviously was not the case. So I pointed it down into the payload bay where there were no lights, and it improved somewhat. However, as Dale said, we were never able again to get a sharp focus on it.
Roger, Richard. We'll see if we can find some answers to that and get back with you.
Okay. And Dale asked me to mention to you that he did try camera Delta again later in the day after it had warmed up, and with no further success.
Roger, we copy, Richard. Camera Delta still down.
You bet.
And Fish, for your info, I started an extra HRM at 8 plus 10 plus 30, just to give them a little extra data.
Roger, Dan. 8 plus 10 plus 30. And Challenger Houston, some follow-up on your RMS comments.
Stand by. Fish, Dale is listening. He and Thornton are doing something. Go ahead.
Roger, number one, could you comment on the end effector motion that occurred on payload release?
Stand by. Hey, Fish, I think it'd be more convenient if we just put off your questions to Dale for about another 5 or 10 minutes or so.
Roger, just one other reminder for tomorrow's activities. We'd like you to latch the keel pin first.
Raj, we caught that mistake in the middle of making it, and I meant to mention it to you and didn't. Sorry about that. At Houston, MS1, I'm free of Dr. Thornton there now. Could you give me those questions again?
Roger, Dale, there was just one. I wondered if you could comment on any end effector motion that might have occurred on payload release.
Well, as soon as I got the open talk back, I just pulled back on the THC and looking at the monitor and with the wrist camera and looking at the motion through the B camera, we saw nothing, no sideways or up and down motion whatsoever. It appeared to have come off the grapple fixture completely unloaded and just moved straight back away.
Roger, Dale, we copy, and that was all we had from down here.
Okay.
Challenger Houston for UHF at Ascension. How copy?
Go ahead, Houston.
Roger, Dan, we're UHF at Ascension for a couple of minutes. Just wanted to know how you copied us.
Copied it loud and clear.
Challenger Houston, just to let you know, the WMS gate valve appears to be fully seated now.
Outstanding.
And Challenger Houston, we're 30 seconds LOS. See you at Indian Ocean in 12 minutes. Challenger Houston with you through Indian Ocean for 5 minutes.
Roger, Houston, loud and clear.
Roger, Richard. Question for you. Earlier you commented that you'd had some difficulty with your D unit, your Delta unit. We'd like to know down here if you could tell us a little bit about what that trouble was.
Okay. I'm using the D unit now, and we used it, and I'm using it in the walkie-talkie mode. That is that we have its wall unit plugged into the station that works with the flight deck speaker, and I'm transmitting to it with the handheld unit. We used it in this mode overnight and for several hours this morning, and then when we got to the RMS testing that required us to asked us to put voice on the VTR, it turned out to be more convenient or required actually for Dale and I to go actually on headset. At that time, I took the D unit off away from the configuration that I was in and put it and tried to use it myself. And I could get nothing but static when it was separated from the speaker mic. So I put it up, didn't have time to troubleshoot it, and so tonight, rather than troubleshoot it, we decided to try to use it in the original configuration, which is what you're listening to now, and it's working fine. And I tried a new battery. That didn't help. I tried a different very lightweight headset with it, and that wasn't the problem. So that's all I know about it. I'm using it now.
Roger, we copy.
And Houston, do you have instructions on a supply water dump? This evening we were thinking if you did, we'd get started with it, so if we had a similar problem as we did last night, we could get on it a little earlier.
Roger, Richard. You ready to copy?
You bet.
Okay, there are 3 actions on your pre-sleep activities. The first one will be we want you to dump water tank Bravo to 25%. And secondly, for your cabin repress, we'd like to use N2. Therefore, we'd like you to go to MO10W and take the 14.7 cabin reg inlet system 1 valve to open, and you'll plan on closing this pre-sleep.
Okay, we copied. Dump supply water to 25% and open 14.7 cabin reg number 1 until we go to sleep.
Roger, Dan. You'll open it now and close it pre-sleep, and there'll be no cryo heater reconfiguration required tonight.
Roger, no cryo heater reconfig required. Thank you.
Challenger Houston, we'd like to know also if you received the tags message number 13, all 4 copies. We sent it up a second time.
Stand by, we'll check. Fish, in the tags we just checked, we have 5 blank pages and 1 excellent page of the test pattern.
Roger, Richard, we'll try that again tonight. We have nothing more for you. If you folks want to go ahead and go to bed, you've had a superb day. Really stayed on the timeline, and everything's looking good down here. We don't plan on calling you, but you can call us at Guam 9+22. Have a good night.
Okay, and feel free to call us in the next couple of days if you have anything, but because we'll be here and we're preparing supper now. And I'd like to pass on to your team what a great support job you did. You made it very easy today. I do have one question. We had a question for the Earth Ops people if they're working today or tonight or whatever time it is.
We're going LOS, Richard. You can go ahead and call it down next pass at Guam 9+22.
Mission Control Houston, loss of signal at Indian Ocean Station following one Teeters satellite pass that sort of in and out of lock during part of that time. The Challenger crew was given a go for sleep 1 orbit early if they so choose. They apparently are preparing their evening meal after a fairly busy day of extensive exercise of the remote manipulator arm and the payload flight test article. Next station, Guam, in approximately 18 minutes. This is Mission Control, Day 2, 9 hours, 4 minutes. Mission Control Houston, we have acquisition through Guam.
Challenger Houston with you through Guam for 3 minutes.
Roger, Houston, how you read?
Got you loud and clear, Richard. Just want to let you know your state vectors go for the next PLS on Rev 49, and your TIG would be 3 days, 1 hour, 11 minutes, 32 seconds.
Roger, and Dan had one question. At the end of the supply water dump, how about the cabin vent isolation valve? You want to go ahead and close it? Sorry, the supply water dump.
Negative, Richard. We'd like him to leave it open.
Okay, leave the vent isolation valve open.
That's affirmative. Leave the vent isolation valve open.
Okay.
Roger.
Stand by. Houston CDR.
Roger, Richard. Go ahead.
Roger, the question that we were going to pass along to the Earth observation folks was in north central Australia, inland I guess perhaps 50 miles or so. There's a large field of fault lines that are crisscrossed. That's, I would guess, many square miles in area. All the faults are parallel to each other along each line, except the two lines of faults almost looks like somebody took a stick and just drew straight lines in the sand, and then 90 degrees or maybe 70 degrees to that drew another straight line across. I wonder if you could ask if we could have the identification of that site or that feature, and I certainly during this past week get it tomorrow.
Roger, we'll get to work on it and get back with you as soon as we have a good answer.
Okay.
Challenger Houston, we are 40 seconds LOS. We have a short pass coming up at Hawaii at 9+36. If we have an answer to your Earth Obs question, we'll give it to you then. In the meantime, you might check your fault summary page.
Mission Control Houston, acquisition through Hawaii. Mission Control Houston, loss of signal through Hawaii, no verbal contact with the crew in the midst of their evening meal, evening for them, on the Red Eye Special as it's being called in some circles. Next station on the hour, it'll be at Ascension. The crew had a go for sleep about one orbit early as compared to the original timeline. At 2 days, 9 hours, 41 minutes, Mission Control Houston.
Challenger Houston, go ahead. Challenger Houston, go ahead. Challenger Houston, go ahead. Challenger Houston, go ahead.
How do you copy, Challenger?
Dale, we've got you loud and clear.
Okay, was the go-ahead that you gave me for the antenna repositioning?
Negative. We heard you call us, and I was just responding to that call.
Okay, what I was asking was if you wanted to do a KU band antenna cable repositioning this evening.
Roger, Dale. We'll go for that now if you're ready.
And Houston, I'm sorry, you cut out. We didn't catch the answer.
Roger, Dale. We were just telling you that you could go ahead and do that cable change out if you wanted to.
Okay, I just wondered because I see we have KU signal strength. I didn't want to mess up a test or something.
Negative, Dale. There's no problem. You can go ahead when you're ready.
Okay, we'll do it real quick, get it over with.
Mission Control Houston, acquisition through Ascension Island in 30 seconds. Probably the final call of the day. Spacecraft cleaned up and straightened up for a sleep period. Just a few more housekeeping chores with the different systems configuration. A few points to be passed up here by the Capcom on this pass. Otherwise, they're go for sleep.
Challenger Houston at Ascension for 8 minutes. Challenger Houston. Challenger Houston. Challenger Houston, UHF over Ascension, how copy? Challenger Houston, how copy? Challenger Houston. Challenger Houston. Challenger Houston.
Houston.
Roger, how copy, Challenger?
This is Mission Control Houston. Going out of the possible Teeters AOS line to the east. Next possible contact will be through Guam in approximately 24 minutes. Crew entering their sleep period at this time. Earlier in this orbit, the crew inquired about a patch of northern Australia in which there crisscrossed fault lines, many thousands of acres of fault lines running east and west and north and south. And they inquired about the name given this geological feature with all its fault lines, and Capcom Dr. Bill Fisher's response was that they should check their fault summary display. Shades of Wally Schirra. At 2 days, 10 hours, 34 minutes, Mission Control Houston.
Mission Control Houston. Challenger about to pass within range of the Ascension Island tracking station. We're not expecting any communication with the crew at this time. We have some indications they've been powering down their CRTs for sleep. They did that some time ago, and we're not expecting to talk to them on this pass. They should be into their sleep period. Our change of shift press conference due to begin in about 10 minutes with the off-going flight director, Harold Drawn. 2 days, 11 hours, 49 minutes, mission elapsed time. This is Mission Control Houston. Mission Control Houston. We're about a minute away from passing over the Guam station. We expect to have data down from the spacecraft at that time. 2 days, 12 hours, 32 minutes, mission elapsed time. This is Mission Control Houston. Mission Control Houston, 2 days, 12 hours, 43 minutes, mission elapsed time. On that pass just completed over the Guam tracking station, we received data from the spacecraft, and all systems continue to look good at this time. This is Mission Control. Mission Control Houston, 2 days, 12 hours, 58 minutes, mission elapsed time. Challenger out over the South Pacific at this time on orbit number 41, and we are getting data through the tracking data relay satellite system. This is Mission Control. Mission Control Houston, 2 days, 15 hours, 10 minutes, mission elapsed time. Challenger passing over the Dakar tracking station on orbit number 43. Data coming down from the spacecraft at the present time, and everything looks good on board the spacecraft. We'll be switching to use of the TDRS about a minute from the Dakar LOS, or in about a minute and a half from now. We have had some use of the tracking data relay satellite on the previous orbit, and got data from Challenger during that time. and also uplinked some of the teleprinter messages that they have been preparing overnight for the crew's morning reading pleasure. This is Mission Control, Houston. Mission Control, Houston, 2 days, 16 hours, 5 minutes, mission elapsed time. Challenger is just passed within the range of the tracking data relay satellite, within the western limits of that range, and we are receiving data through the TDRS at this time. Systems on board the Challenger continue to look good. Crew has about 2.5 hours remaining in their scheduled sleep period. This is Mission Control, Houston. Mission Control, Houston, 2 days, 16 hours, 46 minutes mission elapsed time. Challenger on orbit number 44 is passing over the Dakar tracking station, and data coming down from the spacecraft appears good. All systems on board the Challenger look good at this time. Crew still has about an hour and 45 minutes in their scheduled sleep period. We have already uplinked some of the teleprinter messages this evening that have been prepared on the planning team, and the rest of them would be going up about the time a crew wake up over the next Dakar pass. We've periodically had use of the TDRS satellite during the evening for data. Some occasionally recurring difficulties through the White Sand Station have prevented the continuous use of that satellite, but from time to time we have had it available. This is Mission Control, Houston. This is Mission Control, Houston, 2 days, 17 hours, 50 minutes mission elapsed time. We'd like to make the announcement at this time that we are planning to cancel the change of shift press conference that would normally have been held about 9:30 this evening for the off-going planning team flight director, Jay Green. Been very little activity in mission control this evening other than the preparation of the teleprinter messages, minor adjustments to tomorrow's flight plan, and we see no reason to hold a press conference. This is a tentative cancellation, and we'll make another announcement in about 30 minutes for the firm cancellation of that press conference. This is Mission Control.
Good morning, Challenger.
Morning, Houston. Really enjoyed that Nittany fight song.
Yeah, it's a real rouser. It woke us up down here, too.
Think you played the right one at the right time.
Well, Guy, we've got about 4 minutes on this pass at Dakar, and we'd like to pass a couple of notes to you if you can copy.
Okay, stand by just 1 second. Okay, Brian, shoot.
Okay, sir. First, just a reminder, perform the manual cabin atmosphere management per orbit ops checklist, page 510. Dump the water, tank Bravo, to 10%. Should take about 30 minutes. And early this morning, we tried out the tags. We consider tags to be in a experimental mode right now. We're not ready to transition 100% over to tags. And whenever you can this morning, we'd like you to tell us, 1, did it wake anybody up? And 2, what message numbers did you get from the tags? Over.
Okay. Noise doesn't seem to be a problem. However, what I received in the tags this morning, just a couple minutes ago, was 17 blank pages. So there's something amiss somewhere. So I'd suggest we keep trying, and we'll keep reporting to you what we have.
Roger.
In general, the pages we have gotten, Brian, have been either excellent or blank. And I have saved them, and sometime today, if you'd like to see them on on the TV, I'll be glad to show them to you, but we've had a number of blank pages.
Okay. Challenger Houston, we have less than a minute to LOS. We'll be transitioning the TDRS, and we'll give you a call when we're up TDRS.
Roger, Brad, we'll see you there.
Mission Control Houston, 2 days, 18 hours, 24 minutes mission elapsed time. Heard from the crew for the first time this morning over the just completed Dakar Pass, and the ground played up the Penn State fight song, Guy Bluford's alma mater. He thanked them for that on the air to ground. Commander Dick Truly reported that they received 17 blank pages on the
Challenger Houston with you on TDRS.
Roger, Houston, you're loud, a teeny bit of an echo.
Roger, you're loud with a echo as well.
Okay.
We have acquisition through the tracking data relay satellite for voice at this time.
Houston, everybody is up and about and cleaning up, and we'll be preparing breakfast in a little bit. One of the things we're planning on working in this morning is a good look at the various filters. There's a slight buildup in the air of small lint particles and so forth, and so we're going to have a good filter clean this morning, and we'll let you know how it goes.
Roger.
This is Mission Control. As we were reporting earlier there, Dick Truly noted that he got 17 blank pages on the text and graphics system. That's a new system going up this time to provide a hard copy that operates via telemetry. It's ultimately would be a replacement for the old teleprinter. And they can transmit not only text, but also maps and photographs and other similar type materials.
Yeah, I guess.
That system is in an experimental phase right now, since we're just flying that, and they've had some very good luck with it in the last couple of days, and this morning they apparently didn't have quite such good luck. We were getting some communication there as soon as we left Dakar through the tracking data relay satellite, although there was quite a strong echo there in both the voice coming down from the spacecraft and, as Dick Truly reported, communications with Mission Control here going up to the spacecraft. We may hear from them again shortly, as we're still in communication range of the tracking data relay satellite, and then we pass over the Indian Ocean station. This is Mission Control.
Challenger Houston, we're going LOS in the next few seconds. We'll see you at Indian Ocean at 1838.
Mission Control Houston, standing by for acquisition through Indian Ocean station.
Challenger Houston, standing by Indian Ocean for 7 minutes.
Roger, Houston, loud and clear. The sun is just about to come up here shortly. I wanted to pass on to you how well your teleprompter messages so far have been in the mornings. That they're all clear, easy to read, and easy to incorporate, and better yet, you're giving us time to do that. So it really is working well, and I certainly appreciate it.
Roger, thanks for the words, Dick, and I'll pass that on to the FAOs.
Well, they sure deserve a hand for the kind of work they've been doing so far, at least. And as far as visually during the night, we had a couple of spectacular night passes with the cockpit lights out over Africa and the Middle East and Nile River Valley and up in Israel and Jordan and all the way across Saudi Arabia and on down to India. It's really pretty.
Well, I wish we could see the same view.
Houston, Challenger.
Go ahead.
Roger, on the water dump termination, do you want to leave the supply water or dump ISO valve open? And when you answer this, answer it possibly for the rest of the flight, and then I won't ask you every time I dump water.
And Challenger, Houston, Dan, the answer to that is we're going to keep that valve open until entry day.
Okay, fine. Thanks a lot. Houston, CDR, on IMU alignment this morning. I'm assuming you want to do the roll Star Trek align, is it? As printed, is that correct?
Roger, Richard, that's affirmative, and we're going LOS. We'll see you over Yarga D at 18 plus 54.
Super. See you there.
Mission Control, Houston. 2 days, 18 hours, 46 minutes mission elapsed time. We have loss of signal through Indian Ocean Station. Crew going through their morning routine, preparing for the alignment of the inertial measurement units. Housekeeping sort of a thing that they do to help the orbiter avionics know where the spacecraft is. We are announcing that the scheduled change of shift press conference with the off-going flight director Jay Green for the planning team, regularly scheduled for 9:30 p.m. this evening, has been canceled. There's been no problems servicing during the night. The activity centered around the routine preparation of the teleprinter messages and updates of crew activity plans for this flight day. Repeating, that press conference with the off-going flight director scheduled for 9:30 Central Time has been canceled. This is Mission Control, Houston. Mission Control, Houston, standing by for acquisition through Yargady.
Houston, Challenger.
Go ahead.
Roger, I was getting ready to do the KU band antenna cabling positioning. Thought I'd check with you, make sure it's not going to loss up any of your tests or anything.
Stand by. Challenger, Houston, Dan, you're clear to press on with the KU band antenna cabling positioning. And we've got you for another 7 minutes here at Yarga D. Challenger, Houston, did you copy my last?
Roger, Houston, we copied and it's in work.
Okay.
Houston, we got your message about the weather system over Australia, and we're going to try to get a few cloud photos. Luckily, the northwest part of Australia has been essentially cloud-free during the last few days. It's absolutely unbelievable to look at the mountains.
Okay, Richard. We're looking forward to seeing those pictures. Challenger, Houston, we lost you for about 30 seconds there, going from Yarga D to Auroral. We're back with you now for 5 minutes.
Roger, we're still looking down at Australia.
Roger. Challenger, Houston, got a question for you on the tags, if you can handle that.
Roger, go ahead.
We've looked at the tags down here, and we can't figure out that there's anything we did to cause the pages to be blank. And when you've got a chance sometime this morning, we'd appreciate it if you check your brightness, gamma, and contrast controls, see if they're all set to normal up there, and report any deviations to us.
Okay, we'll sure do it. When the mission started, I did check them, and they were, if I remember right, the little rotaries were straight up. But at any rate, whatever they were, it was per the way the little picture in the checklist showed. We'll check them again this morning.
Roger.
The CDR guy just went down, and the 3 rotary controls are all normal there at 12 o'clock.
Roger, thank you.
The CDR, we're feet wet and some terrific glitter patterns out here.
Well, that's great, Richard. We're about to go LOS, and we'll see you at 1917 with TDRS.
Do that.
Mission Control Houston, 2 days, 19 hours, 8 minutes mission elapsed time. Challenger passing out of the range of the Auroral Tracking Station, Eastern Australia. Last quarter of orbit number 45. We'll pick up again in about 9 minutes through the tracking data relay satellite, assuming that it's up and operational. Flight controllers asked the crew to check the configuration of the switches on their text and graphics system in that last pass. Much of the information that they were sending up as part of the testing of that system did not get through this morning. Some had got through earlier, but the last several pages did not come through the system properly, and they asked them to look and see if the switches are all in the right place on that system. One of the first things the crew will get into this morning after their post-sleep activity, which includes meals and all of that sort of thing, is to maneuver the orbiter to its attitude for the orbital maneuvering system burn. There'll be 2 of those Ohms engine burns to lower the Challenger's orbit, bringing it down from about a 160 nautical mile orbit down to about a 120. That will be done in 2 stages. Purpose of that is to facilitate the conducting of an experiment on the interaction of oxygen molecules with materials. There are some materials carried in getaway special canister in the payload bay, and those will be exposed to space. The orbital will point its payload bay doors, the open doors, along the velocity vector or the flight path of the shuttle, and at that altitude they will be ramming those few oxygen molecules that are there into the open cargo bay. And part of that test is to see how the oxygen erodes those materials in the cargo bay there, set up for that experimental purpose. We'll be picking up with a tracking data relay satellite in about 6.5 minutes. This is Mission Control Houston.
Challenger Houston with you on TDRS for 50 minutes.
Roger, Houston.
And we have you loud and clear, and we're standing by.
And Houston CDR, I wonder if I could, while it's fresh on Dan's in my mind, I wonder if I could pass on some VisOps info for you.
Roger, we're ready to copy.
Okay, just as we went feet wet off the East Australia coast, we saw a bunch of ocean glitter, and it ended up on 3 different cassettes and different. I had one cassette with a 100mm lens that I got a couple of shots off, and ran out of film on that cassette, and we put some more on a different camera that happened to have a 50mm lens on it, which we had on there for the weather. And then by that time we got a new cassette on the one with the 100mm and finished it there. So the patterns on those 3, which I think were numbered 36, 37 or 8, and 39, something like that, all go together.
Okay, that sounds great, Richard. I think Bob Stevenson will be real happy with that.
Yeah, we're going to try to make today glitter day.
Okay.
And Challenger Houston, we lost voice there for about 30 seconds. We're back with you.
Roger, thanks.
Challenger Houston, we just sent a test message up on the tags. When you got a chance, you might want to check the test message in the tags.
Houston, if you just said something about a test message on tags, you didn't, you were very broken and we didn't copy.
Roger, we just sent a test message up on the tags. You might want to check when you got a chance.
Okay, Dale's doing it right now. And Houston, challenge.
This is Shuttle Control, 2 days, 19 hours, 25 minutes mission elapsed time. We're experiencing intermittent lock on the downlink on Tidris.
Challenger Houston, we're back with you through S-band, Tidris, and the Orbit 1 team is here with you. Good morning.
This is Shuttle Control, 2 days, 19 hours, 32 minutes mission elapsed time. Handover in the Mission Control Operations Room has been completed. There will be no change of shift news briefing. Oncoming flight director is
Challenger
Randy
Houston,
Stone.
voice check.
Capcoms are...
Roger, Houston, reading you loud and clear.
Okay, we've been sort of slipping in and out of lock. I hope we'll hold you for a while. Orbit 1 team is taking off, and we'd all like to wish you good morning. And Dan, the last time when we lost lock, you had just started to say something to Brian and got cut out.
Oh, we were, huh?
Yeah, it's been about 5 minutes since we've heard anything from you, so I don't know what you were trying to say then, or if you want to try to go through it again.
Last thing I can recall, we were talking about the tags test message you folks sent, and it was a blank piece of paper.
Okay, we'll let the people know.
How's the weather in Houston today? Tonight?
Somebody's going to look out the window.
We're going to have to cut a hole in the roof. That's the second time we've asked, and you guys haven't had the answer.
Well, they told us always to ask for an out the window report, right, before you come in.
Roger.
No, basically when we came in this evening, it was pretty nice outside. Had a nice sunset and reasonably clear.
Well, that's good. You'll be happy to hear we haven't had any rain up here the whole mission. That is, except when Gardner forgets to put the needle down on the water dispenser.
Some things just don't require any comments, do they?
This Shuttle Control. Capcoms on the Orbit 1 team are Jeff Hoffman and Mary Cleve.
Challenger, we're dropping Tidris momentarily. We'll be back with you in a minute or so through Mila.
Roger, Houston, we're just getting ready.
This is Shuttle Control, 2 days, 19 hours, 38 minutes. Challenger is on orbit 46, about to be acquired through the Merritt Island, Florida tracking station.
Challenger Houston's with you through Mila for about 12 minutes.
Roger, Houston, you're loud and clear. CDR.
Go ahead, Dick.
Hey, Jeff, do you have a better tick time for the first ohms burn, or is the one printed in the cap at about 21, printed in the cap on page 415, the one we're going to use?
Stand by, I'll ask Fido. Dick, days, hour, minutes are as in the cap. The seconds will be 27.8. 2 days, 21 hours, 56 minutes, 27.8 seconds will be the ohms burn TIG.
Roger, Jeff. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. I'll set up a timer countdown to that so we can just keep on this stuff here. Thanks. Houston CDR, we're trying your camera delta workaround, and we'll let you know how it comes out.
Okay, we'll cross our fingers for you. Challenger, we're going LOS, 20 seconds, be out of touch for a few minutes, then get you through Dakar.
Okay, Steve, Dakar.
This is Shuttle Control. Bermuda has loss of signal. Dakar is next in just over 3 minutes. Challenger Commander Dick Truly reported during this pass that troubleshooting activities are underway now on camera Delta. The forward starboard television camera in the payload bay, which has failed. He said he would report the outcome of that troubleshooting as soon as it was completed. We'll stand by for acquisition through Dakar at 2 days, 19 hours, 52 minutes mission elapsed time.
Challenger Houston with you through Dakar, 6 minutes.
Roger, Houston, and we got one star and star 45 in the table.
Okay, star 45 in the table, and I have a message for you on the circ pumps.
Okay, go ahead.
The circ pumps have been operating for the past 12 hours, and the accumulator pressure has remained stable. It may be that the leak has stopped. Anyway, we would like to check that. So here's what we'd like you to do. On panel R2, could you turn off hydraulic circulation pumps 1 and 3? Then we'll watch the accumulator pressure for a while. If the accumulator pressure should decay in either system below 1930 psi, and that's the FDA limit, then on R2, turn the affected circ pump back on. That's to on for 5 minutes. And after that, turn hydraulic circ pumps 1 and 3 to the GPC position, and that will return us to the current configuration of the 5-minute on and 60-minute off duty cycles.
Roger, understand. Houston CDR, I've got a question on the IMU aligned procedure. The way I read it, it says between 25 and 30 minutes after start, which is where we are now, to go back to A auto vern, whether we're in verniers or in the normal jets, and we're presently heads up and on the verniers. Is that, you still want me to go back to auto?
Stand by, Dick.
Okay, and we just got another star in the table, star 37, with an angle error of 0.01.
Okay, that was star 37, angle error 0.01.
Yeah, Houston MS1, I got a quick CCTV camera report here for you if you want it.
Okay, Dale?
Okay, I think Dick already mentioned we tried your trick on camera Delta, no joy. I think you're right about the iris being closed. I put it up on the one monitor and then put another color camera on another monitor and closed this iris manually, and the two pictures look exactly the same. So I think the Delta is closed and stuck closed. I just tried the elbow camera. It seems to be working better now. I'm able to focus properly, and it looks like it's back in business. Camera Charlie, I cycled its zoom in and out several times, and finally it looks like it broke free, and I'm now able to zoom in out all the way. So it looks like, at least temporarily, it's back in business also.
Okay, so to recap the video situation then, camera Delta is still out, and you believe the iris is stuck closed. The elbow camera, you are able to get a better focus with it today. And camera Charlie now is free in zoom.
Apparently so.
Okay, well, be thankful for little things, I guess.
Yeah, 1 out's better than 3 out.
Sure, any day.
It was starting to get right interesting yesterday with the direct berth when those cameras started to go.
It just makes you work a little harder. We're going LOS.
Jeff, there is one thing
about...
that you might pass on to the team that does the RMS stuff this afternoon. I forgot to mention from yesterday. Right after we'd done the direct berth and had it down and then had 4 ready to latches, and the checklist called in for us to take the brakes off and go into test mode for latching it up. When I took the brake switch to off, I got an RMS master alarm with no caution light lit on the RMS panel. Of course, I threw the brakes right back on. And I think we had a message PRS control. You might look back in the data and see. By the time we got to Spec 96, though, there were no indications of any problem. And thereafter, each time that we took the brake switch from on to off, that problem did not occur. So we had some kind of transient there, and I really don't know what it was.
Okay, I guess the RMS people can think about that, and we'll let you know if they come up with anything. Another message now on your to answer your question on the DAP, Dick.
Go ahead.
You can go to auto in the DAP, and that should take you around, continuing the roll until you get to LVLH.
Richard says Roger.
Hey, Jeff, did you guys send up some more tag messages?
Stand by, I'm checking on that. Challenger, we tried to send you another tag. Go ahead. Go ahead, Challenger. Challenger Houston, voice check.
Houston, Challenger.
Okay, it looks like we had a short dropout there. How do you read?
Treat you loud and clear. Did you guys send up some tag messages not too long ago?
Yeah, about a little over 5 minutes ago we sent up another tags test message. Did you receive it?
3 blank sheets of paper.
Well, if you guys need any extra paper, you've got it now.
Roger, I agree on that.
Challenger Houston, we're going to continue periodically to attempt to send up tags messages, so just keep checking down there every once in a while, and maybe we'll get something after a while.
Okie doke, we'll do it.
This is Shuttle Control at 2 days, 20 hours, 6 minutes mission elapsed time. To recap the television camera troubleshooting efforts,
Dale Gardner has reported no joy on camera Delta. He believes the iris is stuck closed on that camera. Two other cameras that had problems were reported working properly now. The RMS elbow camera is now focusing properly, and Gardner was able to zoom Payload Bay camera Charlie. There was a zoom problem with that camera earlier. Those two cameras, Charlie and the elbow camera, now working properly. Camera D still failed. We're approaching LOS on the TDRS. However, the Indian Ocean Station will be available for Challenger shortly thereafter. We'll stand by for further communications. At 2 days, 20 hours, 7 minutes mission elapsed time, this is Shuttle Control, Houston.
Challenger Houston, we're going to lose TDRS in about 30 seconds. Pick you up at IOS at 20 plus 13. We'll be sending you up the targets for the ohms burn and a new state vector. Challenger Houston with you through IOS for 9 minutes.
Roger, Houston, loud and clear. And sorry we missed answering your LOS call. I heard it, but we were all down below changing low and trying to... the treadmill makes a good bit of noise as you walk on it, and we were jury rigging a way to kind of damp it out.
Okay, so you know about the stuff coming up then.
Yeah, actually the noise is made because the door to the low compartment is a tad loose. In between that and the foot connections between the treadmill and the door just kind of make it rattle around a bit, and we were fixing that up.
Okay. Dick, we see two good stars in your table, 3-7 and 1-6, and you're okay if you want to go in a line using those two stars.
Okay, I'll sure do it, and I see we're back in ZLV, so I'll go back to DAP A1 right after I get the line started.
Okay.
Houston CDR, the line's in progress, and I'm assuming GNC does not need the numbers, but if he does, I've got them.
We're watching it down here, so we do not need them. Thanks.
Okay.
Challenger Houston, 30 seconds LOS. Talk to you at Yargity at 20 plus 29.
Roger, see you there.
This is Shuttle Control. The Indian Ocean Station has loss of signal. Challenger will be acquired through Yargity in 6 minutes, 10 seconds. At 2 days, 20 hours, 23 minutes, mission elapsed time. This is Mission Control, Houston. This is Shuttle Control at 2 days, 20 hours, 29 minutes, mission elapsed time. Challenger is about 15 seconds away from acquisition through Yargity.
Challenger Houston with you through Yargity. 9 minutes, and we have some ohms pads for you.
Roger, Houston, got you loud and clear. Stand by for a second, we'll be ready to copy the pad.
Okay, I've got 2 pads for you, so get out 2 sheets.
Okay, we will. Okay, Houston, color loose.
Okay, I'll give you the first recirc, that's ohms 4. Here we go. Ohms, both engines. TV roll 180. Trim load plus 0.1, minus 5.7, plus 5.7. Weight 217600. TIG 2 days / 21:56:27.8. Take 7 targets, minus 0066.7. All balls, all balls. Burn attitude 165,008,024. Delta V total 0066.7, 00:38. Vigo X plus 0064.21. All balls plus 018.06. Target apogee 168. Perigee plus 121. And on the helium valves, Alpha is closed, Bravo is open. Read back.
Roger, Houston. Ohms, both TV roll 180, trim load plus 0.1, minus 5.7, plus 5.7. Weight 217600. TIG 2/21:56:27.8. Peg 7 Delta VX minus 66.7. Burn attitude 165,008,024. Delta V total 66.7. Tigo 38 seconds. Vigo in X plus 64.21. All zeros plus 18.06. 168 by 121. And in the helium press, A to close and B to open.
Readback is correct, and those targets are on board. Now I've got the recirc ohms burn number 5, when you're ready.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, again, we're both ohms engines, and we've got a bit of an unusual TV roll for you, 278. And the reason for that is we want to get KU band coverage during the burn. That's a DTO, so that's TV roll 278. Trim load plus 0.1, minus 5.7, plus 5.7. Weight 216,164. TIG 002/22:41:24.6. Peg 7 targets minus 0083.3. All balls minus 002.4. Burn attitude 303,215,328. Delta V total 0083.3. Tigo 00:47. Vigos plus 0080.22. All balls plus 022.56. Target apogee and perigee 121. Helium regs Alpha open, Bravo closed. Read back.
Okay, Houston, for the recirc number 5, both those engines. TV roll is 278 for KU band coverage. Trim load is plus 0.1, minus 5.7, plus 5.7. Weight 216,164. TIG 2/22:41:24.6. Take targets minus 83.3. All zeros. Minus 2.4. Burn attitude 303. 215. 328. Delta V total is 83.3. TGO is 47 seconds. Plus 80.22. All zeros. Plus 22.56. It'll be a circular orbit at 121. And the helium VAP ISOs A open and B closed.
Readback is correct. We think there's a strong chance we will not be able to uplink the targets for that burn, so you should expect to enter them manually.
Okay, and we check up on you anyhow.
Challenger, 30 seconds LOS. We'll pick you up through TDRS in about 12 minutes at 20 plus 5-4.
Roger, Houston, we'll see you then.
And you might want to know the burritos have just come in.
You're breaking my heart.
This is shuttle control. Loss of signal through Aurora. Challenger will be acquired on TDRS in just over 11 minutes. During this pass over Australia through Yargady and Aurora, Capcom Jeff Hoffman passed up the pads for ohms burns 4 and 5. Those maneuvers designed to circularize the orbit at 121 nautical miles. The altitude selected for the oxygen interaction on materials experiment. Ignition time for ohms number 4 will be 2 days, 21 hours, 56 minutes, 27.8 seconds. Both engines will be used. Change in velocity will be 66.7 feet per second. Duration of the burn 38 seconds. Resulting orbit 168 by 121 nautical miles. Ohms number 5 will also use both engines. Ignition time 2 days, 22 hours, 41 minutes, 24.6 seconds. A delta V of 83.3 feet per second. Duration of the burn 47 seconds. Resulting orbit 121 nautical miles circular. Challenger's current orbit is 168 by 159 nautical miles. At 2 days, 20 hours, 45 minutes mission elapsed time. This is Shuttle Control, Houston.
Challenger, Houston's back with you through TDRS.
Roger, Houston, reading you loud and clear, and Richard's just finishing up his morning manual cabin procedure.
Successfully, I hope. Challenger, Houston, could you go down and check the tags again? We're still trying.
Roger, Houston, guys checking it right now. Okay, Houston, we just checked it, and unfortunately we have 2 more blank sheets of paper.
Ah, but those are mode 3 blank sheets of paper. Before you only had mode 1 blank sheets of paper.
Well, that's good to know. We're going to have a real raft of paper airplanes up here before long.
How do paper airplanes fly in 0G?
We're still evaluating that.
I'm sure the SETP will be very anxious to find out.
No doubt. Hey, Houston, Challenger.
Go ahead, Ben.
Roger, we copied your message this morning on circ pumps 1 and 2, and it looks like the cumulative pressure on system, correction, that was 1 and 3. It looks like the cumulative pressure on system 2 is about 54 PSI above the alarm, and I was wondering what the current status of circ pump number 2 is.
Stand by. Challenger, Houston, on the circ pumps. System 2 pump is officially declared dead and not to be used. The pressure limit for the FDA has been lowered to 1650, so you're still 334 PSI away from that.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Looks like Florida's cloudy tonight.
Yeah, we've got a weather map down here, and shows a lot of clouds all over there. Edwards was pretty clear, though.
Tell you what, there's a lot of thunderstorm activity out over the Gulf to the east of Florida. I'm sorry, out in the Atlantic. And from here, it looks like most of the eastern seaboard is cloudy. We can see the city lights under the clouds, but a lot of them.
Yeah, we're looking at our weather map here. See pretty much the same thing, but I'd sure like your view right now. Challenger, Houston, we lost you through Tidris for a bit, but we've got you back now through Dakar.
Roger, Houston, and we just started our maneuver to the burn attitude.
Okay, we'll be watching you. Challenger, Houston.
Roger, Jeff, go ahead.
Two things. We see a cabin PPO2 alarm. ECOM wants you to know it looks like a noisy transducer and no action. And while we've got you, we'll let you know that we're looking at your targets, your vector, and the gimbal check. They all look good for the burn, and we'll check with you one more time through IOS.
Okay, Jeff, we sure appreciate y'all watching, and yes, we noticed that PPO2B seemed to rise after I completed the cabin management a while ago. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you later.
Right.
This is Shuttle Control. 2 days, 21 hours, 49 minutes mission elapsed time. We've had LOS through Tidris. The Indian Ocean Station will lock on to Challenger in about 30 seconds. This is Shuttle Control. 2 days, 21 hours, 50 minutes mission elapsed time. We have acquisition of signal through the Indian Ocean Station. Tidris has had loss of signal.
Go ahead.
I need to give you 2 times HRM off time and PRM off time. We activated the HRM at 2 days, 21 hours, and 30 minutes. And the PRM we activated at 2 days, 21 hours, and 49 minutes.
Okay, thank you, Guy.
This is Shuttle Control. Challenger is at proper attitude for the OMS 4 burn. Ignition time for that burn is just after LOS at this station.
Challenger, we're going LOS. Have a good burn. Talk to you through Yargity.
Roger, Chip. We'll be right there.
This is Shuttle Control. The Indian Ocean Station has loss of signal. Challenger's next acquisition will be through Yargity in just under 9 minutes. We'll get a report at Yargity on the OMS 4 burn, which should have just started. At 2 days, 21 hours, 56 minutes mission elapsed time. This is Mission Control, Houston.
Challenger, Houston's with you through Yargity for 8 minutes.
Roger, Houston. The burn went off on time. The residuals were approximately 0 as nominal burn. We've loaded the targets for the second burn, and we're on the way there now.
That's good to hear. Thanks.
Houston, Challenger, do you read?
Loud and clear.
Roger, burn was on time, and residuals were 0, nominal burn.
Okay. We actually heard you the first time. Did you not get my call?
Negative.
Challenger, Houston.
Go ahead.
Not too long after the next burn, you've got a KU test in the cap, and we've got a slight change to the procedure, which I'd like to give you on page 2-7 of Orbit Ops. I'll stand by.
Okay, stand by. Okay, Jeff, we're looking at it. Go ahead.
Okay, it's in the setup part, section 1. The second line, the KU, where it now says auto track, the KU should be set to manual slew. And then the second line from the bottom of the setup, where it says check track, delete that line. And that's the
Okay, one setup. Second line KU should be set to manual slew, and the next to last line, should delete the line that says check track, talk back, Barbara Paul.
That's correct.
Okay, thanks, Jeff.
Challenger Houston going LOS in 25 seconds. Pick you up through Hawaii at 22 plus 34.
Roger, Houston, Hawaii at 22:34.
This is Shuttle Control. Yargity has loss of signal. Commander Dick Truly reporting a good OMS 4 burn during this pass at Yargity. Next station will be Hawaii in just over 19 minutes. Challenger now getting configured for the OMS 5 burn, which is scheduled for 22 hours, 41 minutes, 24.6 seconds. That burn designed to circularize the orbit at 121 nautical miles. At 2 days, 22 hours, 15 minutes mission elapsed time. This is Shuttle Control, Houston. This is Shuttle Control at 2 days, 22 hours, 33 minutes mission elapsed time. We're standing by for acquisition through Hawaii.
Challenger Houston with you through Hawaii for a minute.
Roger, Houston, clear. Now we're sitting at burn attitude.
We see that in our data. Thanks.
This is Shuttle Control, 2 days, 22 hours, 39 minutes mission elapsed time. Challenger operating on S-band through TDRS now. 1 minute, 48 seconds away from the OMS 5 burn.
Hey, Houston, CEO.
Go ahead, Dick. Dick, we missed you just after you called. We're back with you.
Roger, we're 10 seconds to the burn. Ready? Start.
Good burn on both engines in progress.
And Houston, Challenger, burn's complete. Residuals are near zero, and it was on time.
Well, we were watching, and it sure looked good to us. We managed to follow you with KU band all the way.
Houston, CDR, how do you rate?
Loud and clear, although we've been in and out as far as TDRS for a little while, but we've got you now. Challenger Houston, we're with you UHF through Goldstone, and we've been hearing you, but I think you have not been hearing us.
Roger, Houston, and we're just getting into the KU band manual acquisition test.
Okay, I've got a message for you on that. There's one more addition to what I gave you before on page 2-7, and that is when you actually get down to the test part, before KU search, you've got to take the KU and put it back to auto track. And we apologize for that in the first set of procedures we gave you.
Roger, understand the step, insert a step before the KU search, and that is take the KU to auto track.
That's correct. The reason we changed the auto track to manual at the top was that if it happens to be locked already and you're in the auto track position, then you are not able to manually slew. But when you actually do the search, you want to be in auto track. Challenger Houston. Challenger Houston.
Go ahead, Houston.
If you haven't already done it, we would like you to delay the KU band manual acquisition test. We're having problems with the TDRS coverage, and we'd like to be able to watch you do it. And we will give you a call when we're ready.
Okay, Jeff, we have just completed step one, the setup. Would you like us to back out of this or remain in our present configuration?
No, that sounds optimum. If you just hold what you got, then you'll be ready to go with the actual test part as soon as we give you a call.
Okay, we're sitting on page 2-7 then. We have completed step one, and that's where we're sitting.
Okay, and I hope we get to you as soon as possible.
Okay.
This is Shuttle Control, 2 days, 22 hours, 58 minutes mission elapsed time. Challenger's current orbit is 121.9 nautical miles by 120.7 nautical miles. Period is 1 hour, 29 minutes, 5 seconds.
Challenger Houston, we're 30 seconds LOS Bermuda. If we don't get back on Tidris, we'll speak to you at Dakar in 5 minutes, and we're still waiting on the KU band manual acquisition test.
Roger, Houston.
This is Shuttle Control. Bermuda has loss of signal. We expect to lock up momentarily on Tidris.
Challenger Houston, we've finally got you through Tidris, and we're go for the KU band manual acquisition test. Challenger Houston, how do you copy?
Roger, Houston, we'll be with you in just a second. We were just cleaning the cabin fan filters, and that's why you see the alert.
Okay, thanks for letting us know, and we just wanted to check that we did indeed have comm.
Roger, we have you loud and clear. Houston CDR, the first attempt appeared successful. We purposely were near the limit of the 5 degrees as printed a checklist between command and actual. We're going to slew it off and repeat it.
Thanks, Dick, and it looked good down here. We'll watch for your second.
Houston Challenger, looks like it works like a champ.
Well, we saw the second one, and Inco seems pretty happy.
Okay, if that's okay, then we'll leave it in this configuration and or whatever configuration you tell us to put it in, and go back to cleaning the cabin fans.
Inco's happy, configuration looks good, Dick, so press on with whatever else.
Good doke, see you later. Houston, about 3.
Challenger Houston, we had lost lock for a while. Did you just try to call us?
That's affirmed. This is MS3. How do you read?
Read you real well, Bill.
Okay, you might pass on the biomed, but there's some data. Day 2, hour 20, from 40 to 5-6 minutes. There's a second run, day 2, hour 21, 15 to 30 minutes. Also, day 02, 2 hours, 03 to 09 minutes. And there will be other data, of course, coming down.
Okay, let me just give that to you back. All on day 2, 20 hours, 40 to 56, 21 hours, 15 to 30, 22 hours, 03 to 09.
That's correct.
Thanks, Bill. Challenger Houston, on your cabin fan.
Say again, Jeff?
We're going to be losing Tidris data in a little over a minute, and ECOM would sleep a lot better if you knew that your cabin fan were back on.
Oh, yeah, we got it back on about 2 minutes ago.
Okay, thanks, Dale.
Been on now for a couple of minutes, and the fan filters were really not that dirty.
Okay, turned out we had some static data there, but thanks for letting us know.
Roger.
Challenger Houston, we'll be going to LOS in about 30 seconds. We'll pick you up through Yargity at 23 plus 40.
Challenger, copy.
This is Shuttle Control. Challenger is LOS. Next acquisition through Yargady in 14 minutes at 2 days, 23 hours, 26 minutes mission elapsed time. This is Shuttle Control, Houston. This is Shuttle Control, 2 days, 23 hours, 40 minutes mission elapsed time. Standing by for acquisition through Yargady.
Challenger Houston with you through Yargady for 7 minutes.
Roger, Houston, loud and clear.
Houston, Challenger.
Go ahead.
Roger, we got the cabin fans cleaned. They look pretty good. Got the IMU fans cleaned. Screens on them. Got it without taking down that overhead panel by just taking the crevice tool and sticking it up there and cleaning them off, and we're going after the DEU filters now.
Okay, sounds like a regular spring cleaning.
Now the IMU fans covers, well, haven't cleaned them on the flight yet. They were pretty well covered, but we cleaned the cabin fans a couple days ago, and they were surprisingly clean when we got them got down in there.
Dan, when you got a minute, I got something for you on the PPO2 system regarding the alarms that you got a little while ago.
Roger, go ahead.
In the manual cabin atmosphere management, you were using the procedure on 5-10 of the OrbitOps checklist, and ECOM suggests that if you go to the reset caution and warning limits at the bottom, that you'll avoid the any more PPO2 alarms. And specifically that means a 3.6 limit for the PPO2.
Roger, and the thing had really become a nuisance. We'd planned to go ahead and do that anyhow, but we'll take care of that shortly.
Yeah, I don't think there's any great rush on that. Also, he had a question. When you did get the PPO2 alarm earlier this morning, had you done anything shortly before that in terms of changing around the temperature setting on the temperature controller down under the mid-deck floor?
Jeff, we did. I'm not sure that I recall exactly in what order we did it. I did change the temperature settings since it was a little warm in the cabin, but I thought it was after we had the PPO2 alarm.
The reason I ask is apparently there's been some indication in the past that some of those sensors are fairly temperature sensitive, and that a change in the temperature can trigger them, and that's why they wanted to know. Challenger Houston, I've got a message for you regarding the upcoming KU band roll maneuver.
Roger, go in.
In order to accomplish the test, it's going to be necessary to start that as soon as possible after TDRS AOS. Our current estimate of that is 0007 is the AOS TDRS. Even if we should lose voice communication during that time, INCO would like you to proceed and do the entire test.
Okay, even if we're no comm at 0007, we'll start the maneuver.
That's correct, Dick. Challenger Houston, also, just so you know what we're doing, we intend to turn on one of the payload bay cameras while you're doing that roll test, just so we can get some spectacular views of your aileron rolls.
Roger, Houston, we'll be looking for it.
Challenger, we're going LOS 20 seconds, and hopefully we'll be talking to you through TDRS.
Control Yargady has LOS. Next acquisition, Hawaii in about 18 minutes with Teeter's acquisition about a minute after that. At 2 days, 23 hours, 48 minutes mission elapsed time. This is Shuttle Control, Houston. This is Shuttle Control at 3 days, 0 hours, 9 minutes mission elapsed time. We're waiting to lock up on Teeter's at Hawaii.
Challenger Houston with you through Hawaii, UHF at the moment.
Roger, Houston. We started the roll maneuver at 00 plus 07.
Okay, thanks.
And incidentally, I'm looking out the left side of the window and seeing a bunch of lights, which I assume is one of the islands.
While you're on the subject of looking out the window, I've got a couple of Earth Obs notes, if you got something to write with.
Okay, stand by just 1 second. Okay, Dan's ready to copy.
Okay, the two things are that, first of all, there's a tropical storm named of Ellen at 8 degrees north, 142 east. It is a little bit west of a point halfway between Guam and New Guinea, and that ought to be visible just before you get to your next sunset. That's on going into orbit 50. And the suggestion is that you try to photograph the storm while you're approaching it to get the cloud structures using a 100 millimeter lens at exposures ranging from f5.6 to f8.0.
Roger, we copied. Go ahead.
Okay, and the second is a reminder that the second best view that you're likely to get of Henderson Island during the entire flight is going to come up later today on Rev 56.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll try to get it again. We have gotten that site twice. Unfortunately, there's a good deal of cloud cover there, and both times, I'd say half the island was covered in clouds, but we have seen it twice.
I think that's why the suggestion was to try it again, and just keep taking pictures and hope for a break.
You bet.
We're going LOS Hawaii on UHF, and we'll pick you up at Goldstone in about 5 minutes.
Roger.
Challenger Houston with you through Goldstone UHF.
Roger, Jeff, loud and clear. Houston, CDR.
Go ahead, Challenger. Challenger Houston.
Houston, CDR on in the orbit ops checklist, page 1-4 on step 1. I thought I'd give you the times just so that if my arithmetic is wrong, you can disagree with me. I started the first roll at 07 minutes after this hour. I've got to start, the next maneuver is set up with a start time of 3 days, 0 hours, 31 minutes and 0 seconds. And I intend to do the stop, item 21, at 3 days, 0 hours, 55 minutes. That's 5 minutes and 0 seconds.
Okay, Dick, thanks for the times. One note on the comm. We're talking steadily with you UHF, and when the TDRS sometimes comes in and out, and we have a TDRS on top of the UHF. That's what gives us that echo.
Okay, understand. And Houston, CDR, there's no hurry, but I've got a VisOps question for
Challenger Houston, I think we've gone LOS during your last question, Dick. We'll pick you up at Mila at 00 plus 23. Challenger Houston, we're trying you through TDRS again. Dick, I just heard you mention you had some question about VisObs, and then we went LOS on our UHF link.
Roger, no problem. Sometime when you have a minute, I do have a question, something we saw, and to talk about it, if you have one of our world atlases, it's on page 28.
Stand by. Okay, we're with you down under.
After we did the first burn, and so we were in an orbit of 160 by 120, and we were preparing for the second burn and in the maneuver, so we were in some crazy attitude, I'm not sure which. In the area, if you're looking on that chart, in the area of somewhere in the area of about 24 to 26 degrees south latitude and a longitude of about 140 east, there is a huge area of extremely large and complex drainage rivers out there in the desert. And there's one out there somewhere that just the right angle, we happen to glance down, and it makes a huge, perfect circle. It almost looked like it was an old impact crater, very large, where the drainage rivers had somehow formed the periphery of it. And I was wondering if there was anything like that down in that area.
We'll pass those coordinates on, and there are lots of unknown impact craters which haven't been discovered, and it could be that seeing them from space is the best way to do it. That's real interesting.
And Jeff, I'm not sure about the latitude and longitude because that map is really not good enough to indicate what we saw, but the time was 22:16.
MET of 2 days, 22:16. Okay, we ought to be able to reconstruct by then. What, were you looking relatively straight down?
I believe that this particular site was just to the south of us. I would guess, but within 100 miles south of our nadir.
Thanks.
And Jeff, while we're down cleaning the inlet filters on the DEUs on the port side, I also took, I guess it must be L17 off, and cleaned out the MCIU, and both the inlet filters on it were really clogged.
Okay, we'll pass that information along.
This is Shuttle Control, 3 days, 0 hours, 47 minutes. We're getting a picture now from the payload bay cameras. Challenger still performing the KU band roll test. Challenger currently over the South Atlantic Ocean. This is Shuttle Control, 3 days, 0 hours, 59 minutes, mission elapsed time. Challenger has loss of signal with TDRS. Still an acquisition at UHF acquisition at Botswana for another 2 minutes.
Challenger Houston, we'll be going LOS here out of Botswana in about 30 seconds. Pick you up in another 15 minutes at Yargati at 1+15. Challenger Houston, 10 seconds LOS, Yargati at 1+15.
This is Shuttle Control. Challenger has flown out of range of Botswana now. Yargati will be the next station in about 13.5 minutes. At 3 days, 1 hour, 2 minutes mission elapsed time, this is Shuttle Control Houston. This is Shuttle Control at 3 days, 1 hour, 8 minutes mission elapsed time. The payloads officer has received an inset report from the tracking station at Hassan, India. Inset is in an orbit of 20,044 nautical miles by 4,133.7 nautical miles. The second apogee kick motor firing has been changed to a Greenwich Mean Time of day 2:45, time 14:30 GMT.
Challenger, Houston's with you through Yargati for 4 minutes.
Roger, Houston, loud and clear. Houston, CDR.
Go ahead, Dick.
Roger, I went ahead and did the roll maneuvers for the common track in the blind and never heard anything during the test. How'd it come out?
Stand by. Dick, Inco says they're going to have to get most of their data off the recorder, but the little bit they saw makes it look like they got the data they needed. And everybody thanks you.
Well, we sure hope so.
We're going LOS here in 30 seconds. Pick you up at Guam at 1+28.
Okay, we'll be on the lookout for the storm.
This is Shuttle Control. Yargati has loss of signal. Next acquisition through Guam in just over 8 minutes. Challenger will begin orbit number 50 just prior to Guam acquisition. At 3 days, 1 hour, 20 minutes mission elapsed time, this is Shuttle Control, Houston. This is Shuttle Control at 3 days,
Houston,
1 hour, 27 minutes mission elapsed time. Standing by for acquisition through Guam.
Roger, stand by, Houston. Roger, Jeff, go ahead.
Okay, the MAD strain gauge signal conditioners, which you turned on yesterday, have been on for over a day now, and the MADS is warm enough to carry on its own for about 2 days. So we'd like you on A7L to take the MADS strain gauge to PCM enable.
Okay, PCM enable.
Challenger Houston, we're 45 seconds LOS. Our data down here shows payload primary main C switch off, and we'd like it on panel R1 to keep power going to the ASE up there in the bay. And we'll pick you up through Hawaii at 1+40.
Roger, we got the switch back on and we're not sure how it got bumped off.
Okay, thanks. Talk to you at Hawaii.
Okay.
This is Shuttle Control. Guam has LOS. Next station is Hawaii in 7 minutes. At 3 days, 1 hour, 32 minutes mission elapsed time, this is Shuttle Control, Houston. This is Shuttle Control, 3 days, 1 hour, 39 minutes mission elapsed time. Challenger about to be acquired at Hawaii.
Challenger Houston with you through Hawaii for 7 minutes. And we got a request following out of that payload primary main C switch.
Challenger, go ahead.
ECOM's gone back into the data, and it looks like it's been off for roughly 6.5 hours. We'd like to get a temperature check on the PAM AS&E, and we'd like, if you could, to perform the PAM ASE thermal test on 2-7 of the deploy checklist. And we'd like that over a ground pass, either now or over the States, so that we can look at the data.
Roger, Houston. How long is this particular pass?
Say again?
How much AOS time do we have on this particular pass?
You've got 6 minutes left on this pass.
Okay, let's see if we can try and do it now. Okay, Houston, we got the PAM ASE thermal test in progress.
Thanks, guys. And for your information, we've just sent up on the teleprinter some entry weather and also world news, which you might be interested in.
Roger, we have it and much appreciate sending that info up.
Challenger Houston, all of your temperatures on the ASE look okay, and it's okay to power down the SCA now.
Roger, Houston, will do. Thank you.
Challenger, we're switching over to TDRS in about 15 seconds.
Roger.
This is Shuttle Control. Hawaii has LOS. Acquisition with TDRS is underway now. Here in the Mission Control Center, a shift handover is taking place. News change of shift briefing with Flight Director Randy Stone is scheduled for 4 a.m. Central Daylight Time in the JSC News Center, room 135. Change of shift briefing, 4 a.m. Central Daylight Time.
Challenger Houston, Crystal Team with you through TDRS. How copy?
Roger, loud and clear. How us?
We've got you guys loud and clear too. How's it going?
Well, we're in position to capture on grapple fixture 5. So far, so good.
Roger, and just to let you know, we have low bit data rate down here, so we don't have a good insight into what you're doing.
Okay, we'll keep you informed. The power up went nominally. The approach to the grapple was very quick and easy on Dale's part, and we're just about to capture right now.
Roger.
Okay, got a good capture. We're
Challenger Houston, with you through Botswana for 5 minutes.
Roger, Houston. Loud and clear, and we are releasing the keel latch.
Roger.
Houston, Challenger.
Houston, go ahead.
Roger, earlier today they told us to be on the lookout for a storm, I believe it was Ellen, south of Guam, and on that particular approach we did see it and got some pictures of it. It wasn't real obvious coming from the west, but once you got to the south and around to the east, the circulation was pretty obvious, and it looked like it covered quite an expansive area.
Roger, Dan. We look forward to seeing those pictures.
Houston CDR, we're unberthing the PFTA grapple picture map.
Roger, we copy.
And Houston, Dale says this is a piece of cake. We're at 500 inches in Z and coming up.
Roger, Richard, we copy. We're 30 seconds LOS, C at Guam, 3+00.
Roger, C at Guam.
Mission Control, Houston. Loss of signal at Botswana. Challenger crew currently involved in the second day of testing the remote manipulator arm using a high mass object as a test load. Next station is Guam in 24 minutes, at which time we'll return at day 3, 2 hours 35 minutes. Mission Control, Houston. This is Mission Control, Houston. Challenger now in acquisition.
Challenger,
through
Houston,
Guam.
Guam for 7 minutes.
Loud and clear, and we're just at the top of page 2-8.
Roger.
And Houston Challenger at time MET 3 days, 2 hours 58 minutes. We went over a volcano that was erupting.
Roger, Dale, we copy that.
It was a small single island. From what we could see, there was a lot of clouds around it, and we didn't know quite where we were, but we got some pictures, and maybe you could figure it out from the time.
Roger, we'll see what we can learn about it and get back with you.
And are we still going to have TV at Hawaii coming up here?
Roger that, Dale. We're looking forward to it.
Okay, we got the camera in the aft flight deck, and one more thing I'd like you to look at. We're still having problems, it turns out, with the elbow camera. I have it turned on and pointed down towards the PFTA. During this pass, you might select it for the downlink and look at it yourself and see what you can see. We noticed that ours is to believe that we think there's a wire or a cable loose inside the lens, because every once in a while you can see this black wire-like shadow float through the lens, and the picture is very blurry, and it kind of bounces around even though the camera is sitting steady.
Roger, Dale, we'll take a look at it.
Okay, Fish, and as you all can see, we're doing the OCAST to the LDEF position right now. Comment on the flying qualities here with grapple fixture 5. As we were coming out of the bay, once we got up there good and high, I went to course and put in a full THC up input, and for about the first, I would say 5 seconds or so, the thing would just sag and pitch about 3 or 4 degrees, and you could see the keel pin was not going up at all. And then finally, we started getting some real Z movement, and you see the keel pin starting to rise. So there's a pretty good pitch sag with those Z inputs.
Roger, Dale. Is that a little like we saw in the MDF?
I
knew you were going to say that. Very much like what we saw in the MDR.
Roger, that's surprising.
We were surprised too. It'll be interesting to see what it does in the single joint mode.
Yeah, Roger. We'll watch it with you. Challenger Houston, we're 20 seconds LOS. We'll see you at Hawaii in 7 minutes, and we look forward to some good TV.
See you there.
Mission Control Houston. Loss of signal at Guam. Hawaii 7 minutes away, where we expect live television from Challenger showing the remote manipulator arm activities with the payload flight test article. The crew mentioned that they were on checklist page 2-8, which is a section of the RMS checklist that has to do with a simulated deployment of the LDEF, or Long Duration Exposure Facility, now planned for Flight 13, and which weighs some 20,000 pounds. Hawaii in a little over 6 minutes. Day 3, 3 hours, 8 minutes. Elapsed time, Mission Control Houston. Mission Control Houston, we have contact through Hawaii. Should be getting live television momentarily.
Challenger Houston with you at Hawaii for 7 minutes.
Okay, Fish, and we're doing test number 1, which we're repeating on page 2-9. We got one of the inputs in incorrectly, so we redamped the rates, and here we go again.
Roger. And Challenger Houston, the TV picture that we have is a little fuzzy. There we go. Now it looks real good.
Okay, I see you just selected the aft flight deck. That was the elbow camera you're looking at there at first. And we now think the lens may be loose inside there or something. We can see the whole, we thought was a cable, the whole ring floating around in the field of view.
Roger, it certainly didn't give us a very good picture.
Okay, the other cameras you have are Alpha and Charlie to look at.
Roger, and we see you and Dan very clearly. It's an excellent picture down here.
Okay.
And Challenger Houston, we've got a good shot of a side view of the PFTA with grapple fixture 5 in place.
Okay. And we're in one of the notorious 2-minute waits right now.
And Challenger Houston, we'd like you to take a look at B17 and confirm the attitude deadband is 0.5.
Okay. Well, Fish, since we did have that one wrong, we were within the deadband the whole time. Do we need to repeat it? We never had any firing.
Dale, we don't think so. We're gonna check on that.
Okay, why don't we continue on with Bravo 18 and 19, and by that time, if you want us to do Bravo 17 over, we can do it.
Roger, Dale. We concur. And Challenger Houston, we're 30 seconds. Hawaii, LOS. We'll try and pick you up on Tidris. And Challenger Houston with you through Tidris. I'll copy.
Roger, Fisher, you loud and clear.
Roger, Dan. We've had a good picture of you guys the whole time. Comment for Dale. We're going to have to ask you guys to play B-17 again. Looks like with the tighter deadband, we expect we will get some firings. So we'd like you to repeat test 1 on FS2-9 and make sure that the whole DAP of B-17 is correct in there. And Challenger Houston, did you copy our last transmission?
That's affirmative, Fish. We'll repeat it.
Roger. And Challenger Houston, just a quick question for Dale. During the LOS, when we still had TV, it looked like you were able to run the RMS with your feet. Is that correct?
Well, I was checking out the Lenore theory that your toes are more useful than your fingers.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't want you to be a defeatist.
Actually, normally the way I do it is I have my hands up on A8 for the RMS and my toes back on the keyboard for CRT1, type it in the next OCAS positions.
Roger, Dale. Does that explain some of the problems we've had with the DAP?
No. I leave the DAP setups to the PLT and CDR. You can see them both looking at CRT4 now.
Yeah, Roger, we see that.
Okay, we have about half a minute to go in the pause 2 minutes in step 3 there prior to the pulses, so you'll be able to see Dan put in the 3 pulses.
Roger, Dale, and we've got a super picture of you guys. And Challenger Houston, just an advisory. KU may be going into blockage, and if so, we'll temporarily lose voice on TDRS.
Okay, we copy.
Challenger Houston.
Go ahead, Fish.
Roger, Dale.
Houston, Challenger, go ahead.
Roger, Dale. If you get a chance, maybe someone there could go down and check and see if there is a message in the tags. We'd like you to specifically look and see if there are some black or gray streaks down the middle of the first 3 pages, and also to check the 4th page, which should be a test message.
Roger, stand by, Houston. Roger, Jeff, go in. Okay, CCM enable. Roger, we got the switch back on and we're...
Challenger Houston. Challenger Houston.
Go ahead.
Roger, Dale. Just a reminder to stay in free drift when you're maneuvering the arm.
Yeah, we caught it.
Challenger Houston, we've just gotten a super picture of the PFTA as it passes over the earth below.
Okay. And camera A is the one we're using for data now.
Roger. And Challenger Houston, if you're not using Charlie camera, we'd like to zoom back on it a bit.
Yeah, Fish, you guys can have the Charlie camera.
Roger. And Challenger Houston, we've just got a good shot from Charlie camera. We're looking right toward the 576 bulkhead. We can see the payload bay windows you're looking out of, and we have a good view of the KU band antenna.
And Fish, if you want to look at camera alpha, don't pan or tilt it. You'll see the next input go in, which is, let's see, step 2 on page 3-3. It'll be a THC left.
Roger, Dale.
And as you can see, the dynamics was very low on that one when I released the input.
Roger, Dale. We had a good shot of that.
And Houston Challenger, are you able to make out any features on the ground with that view?
Roger, Dale. We were just noticing it looked like you were approaching the desert that you folks have commented on earlier, and we just passed over a feature that looked like a river. Challenger Houston, we've got you over Botswana for another minute and 30 seconds. We'll be going LOS at that time, and we'll pick you up. Next pass will be Guam at 4+35.
Fish, see you there.
And Challenger Houston, before you go LOS, did you have a chance to check on the tags messages we asked about?
Dan's on the way down there. We answered, and I think we were LOS.
Roger, we're 30 seconds LOS. Just thought you might have a chance to tell us what you found down there.
Mission Control Houston, acquisition through Guam at this time.
Challenger Houston, with you through Guam for 5 minutes.
Roger, Houston, we're on page 3-7, finishing up, waiting for the time to run out on step 2.
Roger, and we didn't copy your answer to the query we had on the tags uplink.
The tags uplink, wait, I'm sorry, I think I did tell you we had the blank pages, is that correct?
Negative, we didn't get that, Richard.
Okay, I'm sorry, I thought you answered me. The uplink that you called up to us, we went down there and there were 4 blank pages.
Roger, we copied 4 blank pages. Was there a black or a gray line down any of those pages?
That's negative, Fish. They were completely blank.
Roger, we copy 4 blank pages. Challenger Houston, it looks to us down here as if the video, looks like the video is down on tags, and we're not going to plan to use it anymore for the duration of your mission.
Okay, I understand. And we just bumped the singularity there, flying her around to make sure we clear the tail.
Roger, Dale. Challenger Houston, we're 30 seconds LOS. We'll see you in 8 minutes at Hawaii.
Roger, see you at Hawaii.
This is Mission Control Houston, loss of signal at Guam. Hawaii 7 minutes away. Apparently the text and graphics system, or tags, which is a facsimile type receiver aboard Challenger, is not receiving the samples and test patterns being sent up from the ground. So it appears that it is down for the duration until it can be repaired between flights. We'll return in 6 minutes at Hawaii. Day 3, 4 hours, 42 minutes. Mission Control Houston. Mission Control Houston. Expecting acquisition momentarily through Hawaii, followed hopefully by Teeter's acquisition.
Challenger Houston, with you through Hawaii for 7 minutes. Challenger Houston, with you through Hawaii for 6.5 minutes.
Roger, loud and clear. We're on 3-9, are about to do the direct test.
Roger. Challenger Houston, we're 1 minute LOS. We'll try and pick you up on TDRS afterward. And we'd like you to take your encryption select switch to TR.
Welcome.
Mission Control Houston. Loss of signal at Hawaii, orbit 52. Crew currently in the direct drive testing of single joint mode and a remote manipulator system. Next station, Botswana, in 40 minutes, unless the tracking data relay satellite is able to acquire Challenger. We're within the range, or within the band of coverage by TDRS at this time. At 3 days, 4 hours, 57 minutes, elapsed time, Mission Control Houston. This is Mission Control Houston. Acquisition momentarily expected at Botswana UHF voice relay station.
Challenger Houston, with you through Botswana for 5.5 minutes.
Roger Houston, we're on page 4-5, step 5, just fired the first pulse.
Roger, we copy.
And Houston, you won't bypass yet.
That's affirmative, Richard.
And Houston, Challenger.
Roger, Dale, go ahead.
Okay, we're almost done with this RMS PRCS interaction. Looking ahead to orbiter RMS dynamic interaction, we have a note here on page 6-2 that we've written to ourselves to let you guys know so that you can send up an ASIP command or something. Do we have iOS following this Botswana?
Dale, you're way ahead of us. We had just discussed that down here, and if you would wait until we get to iOS to begin that part of the test, we will have ASIP.
Okay, we'll wait till we talk to you at Indian Ocean.
Roger that, and I have a message for Richard.
Listening.
Richard, just wanted to remind you that September 3rd was Eddie's birthday.
You bet, thanks a lot.
Challenger Houston, we're 30 seconds, LOS. See you at Indian Ocean, 7+19.
Roger, Houston.
Challenger Houston's with you at iOS for 6.5 minutes.
Roger Houston, and we are standby one. We're on page 6-2, setting up for the dynamic interaction test.
Okay, thanks, Richard. We're following you. In Challenger Houston, just a reminder, the ASIP is on.
Okay, so we're clear to proceed with the test, is that right?
Roger that, Dale.
Thank you. John, we've drifted all over the sky today, but we've kept at least a couple of windows toward the Earth the whole time.
Roger, we copy that, Richard. Thanks. In Challenger Houston, we're still trying to troubleshoot tags, and we have commanded up another sheet to you. If you could look at it and let us know whether you see a line in the blank sheet anywhere, please.
Okay.
Challenger Houston, we're going to go LOS in 30 seconds. We'll see you at Hawaii at 6+22.
Okay, see you there.
Mission Control, Houston. Loss of signal at
Houston,
Indian Ocean
paper's
Station.
blank.
Roger, thank you, Richard, for the report. And Challenger Houston, we will probably power the tags off via uplink command.
Roger, John, just let us know.
Roger that.
Well, almost loss of signal. Hawaii next station in 29 minutes. This is Mission Control, Houston.
Challenger Houston's with you at Hawaii for 6 minutes.
Okay, John, and we're in the auto sequence heading for point number 4.
Okay, thanks. Dale, we're following you.
We had a little trouble getting started with the auto sequence. We could not get a ready light. In fact, we tried finally just flying in orbiter loaded to the point 1 that you see there in 7-4 and still didn't get it. And then I noticed that on Spec 94, the start point was 4, which was from yesterday, of course, when one of the points didn't finish, and we had to update that it held over from then. And as soon as we put in a start point of 1, of course, everything was nominal, so we're trucking right along now.
Okay, Dale, we copy that. And just for your information, on this particular pass, we will leave the encryption switch in bypass. We won't be going to the encrypted mode with Peters.
Okay, we understand. Thank you. Houston, CBR.
Roger, go ahead.
Roger, a couple of things that I have been meaning to mention to you and have failed to, and just recall them. One is in the payload bay, on one of the gas cans on the starboard side, and it's the first one aft of the heat pipe experiment. One of the, there are pieces of what appear to be blue thermal tape on top of them, and one of these pieces of tape is curled up. It's still attached on one end, but it's essentially curled up. It looks to me like probably a thermal effect, and don't know if it has any impact or not. All the others we've looked at closely, and they're still bonded on.
Okay, Richard, we copy that. We'll look at it. And for your information, we've had the same problem today as we had yesterday, and you can go ahead and recycle the gate valve. And if you could pass up to us the HRM activation time, please.
Okay. And Houston, while we're trying to get that, let me pass on another thing that has happened the last couple of nights. As a matter of fact, I think each night we've been up here, and sometime early in our morning, prior to wake up by a couple 3 hours, we have heard a constant key or occasional key, and what we have thought was UHF. And just a few minutes ago, we heard the same thing, where apparently there was an open key for several seconds, and then it would close and then open again. And finally, we heard a controller, I think, talking. It was a woman controller, and the latitude was about 90 east, and the longitude was about 9 north. It's no big deal, but I thought you ought to know about it. And I'll get Dan and find out the HRM time, and we'll get somebody to cycle the gate valve.
Roger, we copy that, Richard, and reconfirm that the one you've been hearing during the evening is 2 to 3 hours prior to your wake-up MET.
And Houston, the HRM time was 3 days, 4 hours, and 12 minutes. And I cannot pin down during our sleep period exactly when the interference was, but I kind of think it was the same because it sounded the same. And my guess was it was a few hours prior to our wake-up.
Roger, we copy, Richard. See you at Santiago at 6+50.
Okay, see you later.
Mission Control Houston, loss of signal at Hawaii on orbit 53. Santiago, 20 minutes away. Commander Dick Truly describing observations of a piece of blue thermal tape on one of the lids of getaway special canister that appears to have curled up. And some UHF interference or keying noises on their receivers during the sleep period, apparently from airport control towers that use UHF frequencies under their flight path. At 3 days, 6 hours, 30 minutes elapsed time, returning for Santiago in 19 minutes. Mission Control Houston. Mission Control Houston, acquisition at Santiago.
Houston with you at Santiago for about a minute and a half. Challenger Houston with you at Santiago for a short pass. Challenger Houston with you at Santiago. We're going to probably lose signal in case you read. We'll see you at Botswana at 7+11. Challenger Houston with you at Santiago. How do you read?
Mission Control Houston, LOS at Santiago. Apparently the voice was going up to the spacecraft and down to the station from the spacecraft, but not reaching MCC Houston. So we'll hear from him again at Botswana in 17 minutes. This is Mission Control Houston. Mission Control Houston. After a couple orbits of being out of action, the Teeters ground station currently is receiving KU band television from Challenger near the end of the Teeters coverage area.
Challenger Houston, we're up with you with Teeters.
Okay, John, we just put the TFTA in the bay, and Richard's fastening down the furrows.
Roger, we copy Dale, and we have a nice TV picture again from camera Charlie.
Okay.
It looks real pretty over the South Atlantic today.
Roger, Houston, and I heard all of your calls at Santiago and answered them, but apparently you weren't hearing me.
Roger, Richard, it was a ground configuration problem. And Challenger, Houston, recycling the vent valve and the WMS didn't do it. We would like you to go ahead and close the vacuum vent valve.
Welcome.
And Houston, CDR.
Roger, go ahead.
Roger, after we went LOS, we toggled the cabin pressure hardware caution and warning. It was indicating 13.9. I looked up the limit, and now it's kind of toggling between 13.8, 13.9. Rather than pump it up right away, I elected to just lower the limit by 1/10 of a volt and wait to talk to you, assuming that you want to do the nominal or pump it up with O2 this evening. But at any rate, the cabin pressure is toggling between 13.8 and 9, and your call on how to pump it up.
Roger, stand by one,
and the vacuum vent valve is closed.
And Challenger, Houston, we had intended to tell you to go ahead and pump it up per the normal procedure, but if you're happy to continue having reset your caution and warning as you have, that's fine with us, and you can go ahead and wait until this evening and then pump it up per the normal procedure. Challenger, Houston, we're up with you with Tetris.
Okay, John, we just put the TFTA in the bay, and Richard's fastening down the furrows.
Roger, we copy Dale, and we have a nice TV picture again from camera Charlie.
Okay.
It looks real pretty over the South Atlantic today.
Roger, Houston, and I heard all of your calls at San Diego and answered them, but apparently you weren't hearing me.
Roger, Richard, it was a ground configuration problem. And Challenger, Houston, recycling the vent valve and the WMS didn't do it. We would like you to go ahead and close the vacuum vent valve.
Welcome.
That goes to our head operation.
And Houston, CDR.
Roger, go ahead.
Roger, after we went LOS, we toggled the cabin pressure hardware caution and warning. It was indicating 13.9. I looked up the limit, and now it's kind of toggling between 13.8, 13.9. Rather than pump it up right away, I elected to just lower the limit by 1/10 of a volt and wait to talk to you, assuming that you want to do the nominal or pump it up with O2 this evening. But at any rate, the cabin pressure is toggling between 13.8 and 9, and your call on how to pump it up.
Roger, stand by one, Roger.
And the vacuum vent valve is closed.
And Challenger, Houston, we had intended to tell you to go ahead and pump it up per the normal procedure, but if you're happy to continue having reset your caution and warning as you have, that's fine with us, and you can go ahead and wait until this evening and then pump it up per the normal procedure.
Okay, well, I feel warm now, and we're just getting to the end of our RMS work, and what I propose is we get the RMS all put to bed and then do it during the early in the pre-sleep.
Roger, we concur, Richard.
And I see Inco has camera A. If he can figure out what it's doing, I'd appreciate him telling me.
Okay, Dale, stand by. I'll ask him.
And Houston, we're on the way back to ZLD.
Roger that, Richard. Thanks.
And Houston, CDR, the cabin pressure toggled again. I'm going to go ahead and pump it up using the cabin atmosphere procedure.
Roger, we concur, Richard. And Challenger Houston, Dale referenced your question on the A camera. Enco asked me to pass along to you that every time he pans it up, we get a big reflection, and when we pan it down, we get a good picture.
Okay, I might have just forgot where I left it. It's not easy like the B and the C cameras to see where they're pointing and figure it out. Thanks a lot.
Roger, evidently it was left in the pan up, and because that's why we're getting the bad picture.
Okay, thanks a lot for your help. Let me keep on going, and as you see now, I have ready to latches on the MPMs, and on the MRLs, and getting ready to latch them down.
Roger, we copy Dale, and we were getting a good picture of it. We're not getting it now.
Okay.
And Dale, we want you to go ahead and press through the timeline. You guys are really doing a super job today.
Ended up working out pretty close to on time again today.
Roger that.
And I just lost the mid ready to latches. I'll recycle the arm here and get those back.
Okay. Challenger Houston will go LOS here at Teeter's in the next minute. We'll see you at Indian Ocean in about 4 minutes. Challenger Houston with you at IOS for 7 minutes.
Okay, John, and if you got good data, could you verify with RMU that we got a good temp monitor mode? So I'll put to bed.
Roger, stand by, Dale. I'll get back to you. Challenger Houston, our data shows that it's all put to bed. Very good.
Okay, thanks. And John, how does the gate valve look now? Does that need to be recycled?
Roger, Dale, repeat your transmission, please.
Okay.
Roger, we were just wondering if we could recycle the gate valve and then hopefully get back to the nominal configuration with the vent valve open. That is after we have the cabin repress done.
Stand by one, Richard. Roger, Richard, you have a go to cycle it again. We won't know the results until you open the vent valve.
Roger, tell you what, we will finish this cabin repress procedure that we're in, then we'll recycle the gate valve, and if it appears to us that it has been cycled properly, we'll go ahead and reopen the vacuum vent valve and watch it and let you look at it when we come AOS. How's that?
Roger, Richard, that's a good plan.
Okay, we'll sure do it. Thanks a lot.
Roger, and just for your information, Richard, we have uplinked 3 copies of message 34, which is the cap for tomorrow. If you want more copies, we can send them.
Okay, thanks a lot. We'll take a look.
And Challenger Houston, on your question on the gas can, the reflective tape that is a little bit loose, it was on there when it was sent to the Cape. They weren't pulled off. There's no impact with the configuration you have.
Roger, understand. Thanks a lot, John. And John, I don't know if you want a detailed summary of RMS ops later on. All I can say is, in a quickie here is that everything went nominally. The berth here at the end in Orbital loaded was really easy. It just went right down in there with very few corrections and other axes having to be made. And it flew real nice on gobble fixture 5.
Roger that. Challenger Houston, we need a resume on spec 60 on CRT 1.
Okay, just got it.
Challenger Houston, we have a Timbu on board. We need circ pumps 1 and 3 to GPC, please.
Okay, Richard's getting it now.
Roger, thanks a lot.
And we're getting our DAPs reconfigured after the RMS ops back to nominal here.
And Challenger Houston, we were in the wrong DAP here for a while, and as a result, as soon as we get to darkness, we would like you to initiate your IMU roll alignment in whatever attitude that you are at.
Okay, John, understand.
Roger, Dale, and we're going LOS here in 10 seconds. We'll see you at Hawaii at 7+57.
See you at Hawaii.
Mission Control Houston, loss of signal at Indian Ocean Station. RMS tucked into its cradle and stowed, and the payload flight test article also in its trunnions and latched in tight. Completing a second day of testing with the remote manipulator arm. About a quarter of a teeter's pass of fairly high quality television on the KU band antenna. Hawaii upcoming in 29 minutes. This is Mission Control, Day 3, 7 hours, 27 minutes. Mission Control Houston, acquisition through Hawaii, and possibly lock up with teeters, shortly upcoming.
Challenger Houston with you at Hawaii for 6 minutes, and we'd like you to verify that circ pump number 3 is in GPC, please.
Only circ pump 1 is in GPC, circ pumps 2 and 3 are off.
Roger, we would like you to have put circ pump 3 to GPC, please.
Okay.
And for your pre-sleep...
And sorry for all that confusion that last pass or two, John. So many things were going on that, however, I think they're all squared away now. We have the roll start track align that was initiated from the LVLH attitude. And very quickly here, we're going to go to A-auto Vern.
Roger that.
Also, we got the limits set, I think, in the C&W, and we got the cabin pumped up. We cycled the gate valve and opened the vacuum vent. I checked the DPDT prior to and after the opening the vacuum vent, and as far as I can tell, it is closed. However, ECOM, I'm sure, has better days than I do.
Roger, Richard, we copy that, and I have 2 quick flight notes for you for your pre-sleep activities.
Okay, stand by just one, please.
Okay. And Richard, to answer your question, your WCS configuration looks good and your cabin press good. And a reminder for y'all to take the encryption select to bypass here at AOS Hawaii.
Okay, it is in bypass, and we're standing by for your notes.
Okay, Richard, on the first note, for your supply water dump this evening, dump tank Bravo to 30%.
Roger, understand, tank Bravo to 30%.
Roger, and for the cryo tank reconfig, we would like the O2 and H2 tank 3 heaters A and B, all 4 to auto.
Roger, that's done.
John, MS1, if you just tried to send a teleprinter message, I looked in there and the paper had, I didn't put it on tight enough the last time and it came off the reel, so you'll have to send that one again.
Roger, we copy. That was the weather message. We'll do that, Dale.
Okie doke, thank you. And Houston,
Houston, Challenger, if you have anything else for us, I got something for you.
Only thing, Dan, is right here as we go, LOS, encryption select to TR, please.
Roger, it's in work.
Ready to copy, Dan. In Challenger Houston, we're going LOS. We'll try to hand over to Teeters. If we don't get you at Teeters, we'll see you at 8+22, and we would be interested in any comments Dr. Bill has referenced his test today.
Okay, we'll sure do it.
And apparently we do have Teeters acquisition. Lockup in progress.
Challenger Houston with you with Teeters. Challenger Houston with you with Teeters. How do you copy? Challenger Houston's with you with Teeters.
Houston, Challenger copies.
Roger, we read you loud and clear as well, Dale.
Okay, John. And Houston CDR.
Roger, go.
Roger, Bill is down in the airlock doing an audiometry test with Guy, and I didn't want to disturb them. What time would you like to have, would it be convenient for him to give you a summary this evening?
Richard, we have nothing else that we require this evening. We'll stand by for when you're ready to pass it down to us.
Okay, well, when they're through, I'll let Bill know, and then as soon as he's ready, we'll just come up and be sure and do it before we go to bed.
Yes, sir, that'll be good.
And John, I got something on HRM for you.
Roger, go ahead.
Okay, the one we started this afternoon, when I went to get the data, I took it out of the box, and instead of having the 105 in the window, it was showing all 8s. So I continued on through the procedure to check the data, and only the first channel had data in it, and everything else was 0. So then I went back and to check it out, and when it got to the high voltage part of that procedure, it wouldn't get above 4,000. It stayed around 20 or so. So then I went back and turned it completely off and tried again. And on that try, it checked out good and activated good, and was counting up through channel 5 when I left it. So I put it back in, and that one was activated at 7 hours and 44 minutes.
Roger, we copy Dan, and thanks a lot for the good report on that.
And John, for your info, we also got all the cabin measurements taken today, all the gaps and all the lockers, the marking of the lockers, and the tape measurements, all complete.
Roger, thank you, Dale. Good show.
Houston, CDR.
Roger, go.
Roger, one, if you would get GNC, let me know what he'd like to do with the IMU alignment, and if you concur anytime, I'm ready to maneuver to the EOIM attitude.
Roger, I'll check with him, Richard.
Okay.
And Richard, you can torque stars 57 and 18 and start the maneuver now.
Okay, both of those will be in work.
Roger, thank you, Richard. And for your information, your state vector is go for the next PLS on Rev 65. TIG equal 4 days, 00 hours, 55 minutes.
Roger, I understand. Thanks a lot.
Yes, sir, and if y'all would let us know when the teleprinter is cleared, we would appreciate it.
It's okay now. You can go ahead and resend the message.
Thanks a lot. Challenger, Houston, we're with you with Tetris again, and I have a couple of notes for you.
Stand by, John. Richard's getting out his paper.
Okay, we'll stand by.
Okay, John, I'm ready to copy, and be advised, at least temporarily, I've had to up the TPO2 limits to 3.6 just because the alarms were toggling. Go ahead.
Roger, Richard, you guys are really sharp. That's what we were going to suggest to you, so you're way ahead of us. And I have another note for you, Richard. Reference your WMS.
Roger, go ahead.
Okay, Richard, basically you have the option whether or not to go ahead with a little cleaning procedure I'm going to suggest to you here. If you want to do it tonight, you can. If you don't, you don't have to. In any event, whether you do or don't do the procedure, we want you to definitely leave the vacuum vent valve closed for this evening's sleep period. And your vacuum vent...
Roger, I understand, John. Go ahead.
Okay, and your vacuum vent valve is open right now. What we would, if you want to do the cleaning procedure this evening, what you can do is use the personal hygiene hose to clean the transport tube, and then you can use a wet wipe and the personal hygiene hose to clean the O-ring and the gate valve area. And then go ahead and cycle the gate valve a few times to dislodge any debris around the O-ring. And then when you're finished with all of that, close the vacuum vent valve.
Roger, we'll elect to close the vacuum vent valve and probably not do that tonight.
Roger that.
John, this EOIM attitude is unbelievable. I'm sitting up in the CDR seat and I feel like I'm going to fall straight down.
Roger, we copy, Richard. That was something that Carol sent up to let you find somebody to hold on to. And just for your information, Richard, if since you've elected to go ahead and use the, just go ahead and close the vacuum vent valve for the evening, just be advised you can go ahead and use the system per the normal procedure, except leave the vacuum vent valve closed.
Roger, I understand.
Challenger, Houston with you for last couple of messages before we stop talking to you tonight.
Roger, stand by. Roger, John, go ahead.
Okay, Richard. First of all, just to let you know, your configuration for sleep looks really good to us, except for the water dump and the normal pre-sleep activities, which you will be doing in the next hour or so. Secondly, if you hear the teleprinter running during the next rev, we will be uplinking the final details of the 2 star tracker tests you will be doing tomorrow, just in case you want to look at them this evening. You don't have to, your choice. And a final note, the entire MOCR team certainly passes on congratulations to everyone up there for the super work y'all are doing today. You're really staying with the timeline and keeping up with everything that we're asking you to do. So congratulations for a job well done again.
Well, thank you, John, and I would appreciate if you would send those star tracker details up, and we will look at them this evening. I was under the impression we would have another pass or two, and I had told, I mentioned to Bill that and he was planning on giving you a summary. I don't think he's prepared right this moment.
Roger, and Richard, we are going to be listening to you and hanging right with you, so whenever you want to do that, that's fine with us. We just won't call you.
Okay, how long do we have on this teacher's pass?
Roger. We still have 6 minutes, and if you want, I'll check in with you with AOS, LOS calls.
Yeah, I wish you would for at least another 45 minutes or an hour.
Yes, sir. I will do that, Richard, until you tell me that y'all are ready to stop.
Okay, super. Thanks a lot.
Yes, sir. Challenger, Houston, we're going LOS. TDRS, a reminder to put your encryption select to bypass. We will see you at Guam at 9+20.
See you there.
Mission Control, Houston. Loss of signal through the tracking data relay satellite on orbit 54 and just starting across the equator to begin orbit 55, where orbit counts begin. Next station in 28 minutes is Guam. We're likely to have a report from Dr. Bill Thornton just prior to the beginning of sleep period on some of his medical experiments. Commander Dick Truly asked that MCC stay in contact with the crew, even though at this time they should be in their late pre-sleep period. At 3 days, 8 hours, 52 minutes elapsed time. Mission Control, Houston. Mission Control, Houston. We have acquisition through Guam for about 4 minutes.
Challenger, Houston's with you at Guam for 4 minutes, and just a reminder to put the star trackers back to the track mode. Challenger, Houston, we'd like you to verify that you have the encryption select switch and bypass. Challenger, Houston's with you at Guam for 3.5 minutes. Just a reminder to put the star trackers to the track mode and verify that the encryption select switch is in bypass. Challenger, Houston, how do you read?
Houston, Challenger, loud and clear. How many?
Roger, Richard, you're loud and clear. We're with you at Guam for 2 minutes. Just a reminder to put the star tracker to the track mode and verify that the encryption select is in the bypass.
Wakeup. And Houston, Challenger, every time... In this attitude, we're sitting out here watching the tops of the home spots glow like a firecracker, particularly after each jet firing. That's visually.
Roger, we copy that, Richard.
And John, how long is it till the next pass?
Roger, we have 55 seconds left on this pass.
I say, how long is it till the next pass?
Roger, the next one would be Santiago at 9+57, or Teterus in 12 minutes.
Okay, call us back on Teterus, and Bill will give you his report.
Roger that. And Richard, if you could verify for us, please, and cycle if you have to, the encryption select switch to bypass.
Okay, it was there, but I took it back to TR and back to bypass.
Thank you. We show it clear now, Richard. And we're going LOS. I'll give you a call with Teterus in 15 minutes.
Okay, see you there.
Mission Control, Houston. Loss of signal at Guam. Next state end station is Santiago in 32 minutes. However, we may get Teeter's lockup in perhaps 15 minutes. Bill Thornton still prepared to do a overview of his medical experiments during the day. We'll return at whichever site comes up first. This is Mission Control, Houston.
Challenger, Houston's with you with TDRS.
Okay, John, and if you stand by, I'll get Dr. Bill up here to give you his report. Houston, how do you copy, Challenger?
Roger, loud and clear.
Here's Bill.
Houston, MS3, radio check.
Reading you loud and clear, Dr. Bill.
Okay, John, you might pass the following along, that the fluid studies was continued, including sample collection and processing fairly routinely. We did pre and post sleep leg volumes on every one. Threshold audiometry on most of the crew. We did 3 audio evoked potentials, 1 visual evoked potential, 3 EOGs. I'll repeat the times on those, which I had passed down earlier. Checked out the gyroscope quite successfully. Continued a study on GI sounds and motility. Did visual acuities and heights and physicals. All of the equipment is working quite well, except for that one graphic recorder, which just plain failed. The paper drive failed completely on it. So I'm having to do some things in the blind. And stand by one and I'll give you times on the EOGs that should have been dumped down.
Okay, Bill, we're standing by.
Okay, the start time on the first one was day 02, 20 hours and 40 minutes. It was finished at 5:06 minutes. Second one, the start time was 2 days, 21 hours, 15 minutes. Finish time was 30 minutes. The third one was day 2, 22 hours, 3 minutes. Start time, finish time was 9 minutes. And I guess we did 4. The last one was 3 days, 6 hours, 8 minutes was the start time, and the finish time was 6 hours and 20 minutes. And some of these things had some new data in it, which they haven't seen before, so don't let them get upset or disturbed over it.
Roger, we copy that, Bill. And Bill, do you have any other thing to report?
I think that's it.
Okay, we really appreciate the detail of your summary to us, and folks down here are real pleased with all that. Just one question from us. Do you have any comments at all on the animals?
Stand by. John, the first day they were all asking for their money back on the ticket, but seem to have settled in rather nicely since that time. All of them are in excellent condition as far as can be ascertained, eating well, and as far as I can tell, are giving all indications of being healthy animals.
Roger, we copy, Bill. Thank you very much for that qualitative assessment. And Challenger Houston, we were interested in whether or not you have received the Star Tracker procedures messages yet.
Roger, John. We heard the teleprinter clicking. Dale is going down there to check. Is it possible on such short notice for you to schedule a very short VTR dump? I was serious about the glow on the tail when we were in darkness. We could see the home spot and tail glowing slightly, and when the aft vernier jets fired to maintain attitude, this very brilliant glow appeared, and the residual glow lasted for some time, or died off over a period of a minute or so. And we put one of them on videotape. We can do more later, but we could easily play it to you now or shortly.
Roger, Richard, start the tape. We're ready to receive.
Okay. We weren't prepared for quite such a quick acceptance, but if you'll give us a minute or two, we'll get prepared and we'll show it to you.
Okay, we'll stand by to look for it.
Incidentally, the moon was up by the time that we recorded this short tape, so you will see some reflection of the moon, and later on we will, or sometime during the flight, we will get other tapes in complete darkness.
Roger, we copy, Richard.
And Houston Challenger, we do have the messages on board for the Star Tracker.
Okay, thanks a lot, Richard. And we'll continue to stand by for whenever you want to send us the TV picture.
Okay, John, I think go set up for a VTR dump. Here goes.
And we're going to go ahead and power down the tags.
Okay, John, are you getting the picture? It should be very faint. It's camera A, which is a color camera looking back into the dark payload bay.
Roger, we're getting a bright picture here. Stand by one, Dale. Our reception isn't real good, but we see it.
Okay, that's a good picture. You'll see a change here in a bit when the jets fire.
Okay.
John, we may have gone by. Let me rewind real quick and try again.
Okay.
Okay, this will catch it. That's the very end of the PFT-8 birthing. Here we go. It'll be in about 15 or 20 seconds now.
Okay, we're watching for it.
There's the firing.
Boy, we see it, Dale. That's
watching the glow.
Wow, that's something else.
And of course, John, with the eyeball, it's a much more impressive map. The glow lasts much longer than what you're seeing on the video here.
Right, I'll bet it was.
We'll try to catch some more in some dark passes.
And Dale, could you just tell us what kind of firings that was again?
It was a vernier jet firing. One of the aft vernier jets. We were in the EOIM attitude, going payload bay forward, nose towards the Earth, and the tail up towards deep space. And that was just normal at-hold type vernier firing.
Okay, thanks a lot for the good report. A lot of people down here were very happy to see that. And just a note for y'all, if you could just confirm on the WCS and make sure that you get the vacuum vent valve to closed. We're showing it's open. And another note, the second burn of the apogee burn of inset looked real good, and the satellite's almost stationary now.
Okay, Okay, that's real good news, and we have the vacuum vent switch on our list for pre-sleep. We'll get it, John. Thank you.
Okay.
This is Mission Control Houston at 3 days, 9 hours, 49 minutes mission elapsed time. Flight Director Jay Green and the planning team have arrived in the Mission Control Center and are now conducting a handover and relief of the Harold Drawn team. That bit of unscheduled downlink television through the TDRS system has been recorded and will be replayed via NASA Select later in the day today. It showed rather graphically and clearly the glow phenomenon which the crew had described. There have, of course, been earlier reports of the glow phenomenon on surfaces of the orbiter while in space, and those have been recorded on still photography and still photographs prior to now. This is the first time we've been able to see it in such dimension that it's visible on video, and also the first time that it's been correlated to an engine firing. The glow very dramatically enhanced following the firing of some aft vernier jets, and gradually subsided at the termination of those jet firings. And again, that video will be available and distributed via NASA Select later this morning, later in the day today.
Houston, Challenger.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Roger, John. The vacuum vent valve is closed, and I guess I'd just soon knock off the comm for this evening unless something comes up that we need it, and we got a couple of things to do before we go to bed, and we'll see you in the morning.
Yes, sir. We copy that, and just a reminder for you to turn off the HRM, and we will see you in the morning.
Roger that. See you tomorrow.
This is Mission Control Houston at mission elapsed time 3 days, 9 hours, 51 minutes. That was apparently the last downlink audio with the crew today as they enter their sleep period just a few minutes late. Challenger on orbit 55, just approaching the coast of South America at mission elapsed time 3 days, 9 hours, 52 minutes. This is Mission Control Houston at 3 days, 9 hours, 54 minutes, mission elapsed time. Playback of that unscheduled downlink television is planned to occur at approximately 11:35 a.m. Central Daylight Time this morning. That's the downlink TV illustrating the glow on the OMS pod and aft end of the spaceship Challenger and the associated vernier firings. Again, the playback is scheduled to occur on NASA Select at 11:35 a.m. Central Time. At mission elapsed time 3 days, 9 hours, 55 minutes. This is Mission Control Houston.
Houston, Challenger.
Roger, Challenger, Houston.
Well, one more question, John. We were just getting ready to do the KU band antenna cable repositioning, and we noticed you're tracking, so we can't do that. Do you want us to skip it tonight, or what do you want us to do here?
Stand by, Dale. We'll be with you in about a minute or a minute and a half, Dale, with an answer. Basically, we're going to want you to do it.
No problem.
We're going to want you to do it, but we're going to tell you when we want it.
Okay, just give us a call.
Okay, you can take it and do it now, Dale.
Okay, thanks.
Roger, see you. Good night.
Talk to you tomorrow.
This shuttle mission control at 3 days, 9 hours, 56 minutes, mission elapsed time. We are about 20 minutes into the crew sleep period, but that last exchange of air to ground had to do with some antenna configuration
based on the control center's use of the TDRS and some instructions for the crew and their activity plan to do some antenna configurations and the conflict associated with those. And they obviously did resolve that, and the crew should be entering its sleep period at about now. At mission elapsed time, 3 days, 9 hours, 57 minutes. This is Mission Control Houston. This is Mission Control Houston at 3 days, 10 hours, 9 minutes. Mission elapsed time. Handover has occurred in the control center, and Flight Director Harold Drawn, Lead Flight Director for STS-8, is now on duty with his planning team of flight controllers. Correct that, Harold Drawn was relieved by Jay Green, and the change of shift briefing with Harold Drawn will occur as scheduled at 12 o'clock noon. This is Mission Control Houston at mission elapsed time 3 days, 10 hours, 23 minutes. A reminder that the change of shift briefing with STS-8 Lead Flight Director Harold Drawn and Robert Aller, the TDRS Program Manager, will occur in approximately 5 minutes at 12 o'clock noon Central Standard Time, Central Daylight Time, in the Building 2 News Center at Johnson Space Center, Houston. That change of shift press conference again scheduled for 12 o'clock noon. This is Shuttle Mission Control. This is Mission Control Houston. Mission elapsed time is 3 days, 11 hours, 31 minutes. We've just acquired signal through the ground station in Santiago, Chile. And of course there will be no dialogue with the crew, and as much as we're almost 2 hours into the sleep period, but the flight control team nevertheless continues to look at data to assure that the onboard systems are performing as expected. Challenger on orbit number 56. Data shows apogee of 120.4 nautical miles, perigee 119.3 nautical miles, orbital period of 1 hour, 29 minutes, 2 seconds. Altitude, latitude is presently 27.0 degrees south latitude, 79.4 degrees west longitude, and relative velocity 386,131 feet per second. Temperature in the flight deck is 80 degrees, and humidity at 26%. And clearly no voice downlink from the crew. Everything apparently quiet, and the crew is passing an apparently uninterrupted night. At mission elapsed time 3 days, 11 hours, 32 minutes. This is Mission Control Houston. This is Mission Control Houston at 3 days, 12 hours, 32 minutes mission elapsed time. About 5 hours remaining in the sleep period. Everything's still quiet on board Challenger. Vehicles on orbit 57, just passing over Guam, and control team is getting the data take from downlink telemetry, and all systems on board the vehicle continue to be healthy. This is Mission Control Houston at 3 days, 13 hours, 30 minutes mission elapsed time. Challenger is sweeping across North Africa on a trajectory that will carry it almost directly over the Aswan Dam on orbit number 58. Just having completed a pass over the ground station at Dakar, data continues to show that the onboard systems are functioning nominally. No Caution and warning alarms have occurred to disturb the crew's sleep. Sleep period is about half over at this point. At mission elapsed time, 3 days, 13 hours, 31 minutes. This is Mission Control Houston. This is Mission Control Houston at 3 days, 14 hours, 28 minutes mission elapsed time. Challenger over the South Pacific, presently on orbit number 59. Everything's quiet on board the vehicle. We're in the middle of a fairly long loss of signal period, and don't acquire data again for another 26 minutes until we pass through the tracking site at Dakar. The crew has 3 hours and 15 minutes remaining in its sleep period, and everything appears to be quiet on board the vehicle. This is Mission Control Houston at 3 days, 15 hours, 55 minutes mission elapsed time. Just about 2 hours remaining in the crew's sleep period. Challenger's on orbit 60 right now, and everything appears quiet on the vehicle. This is Mission Control Houston at 3 days, 16 hours, 53 minutes mission elapsed time. Challenger on orbit 60. Just slightly less than an hour remaining in the crew's sleep period, and they've passed an apparently uninterrupted night. There's no record of any caution and warning alarms having occurred during the night to interrupt our sleep period. Our intention is to cancel the scheduled 9 o'clock change of shift briefing with Flight Director Jay Green. If any news media feel that they take exception and do wish to talk to the Flight Director, they should advise the Johnson newsroom at the earliest opportunity, the news center at Johnson Space Center. At mission elapsed time, 3 days, 16 hours, 54 minutes. This is Mission Control Houston. This is Mission Control Houston, 3 days, 17 hours, 33 minutes, mission elapsed time. Just slightly over 10 minutes remaining in the crew's sleep period. Vehicle's on orbit 61 in the South Pacific presently. There will be AOS through the Merritt Island Land Station in about 19 minutes. So we may get some air-to-ground transmission and a wake-up call at that point. Our intention, once again, is to cancel the scheduled 9 o'clock change of shift briefing with Flight Director Jay Green due to the absence of issues or significant activities on his shift. Any news media representatives, however, who take exception to that plan should please notify the Johnson Space Center newsroom at extension 483-5111 at their earliest opportunity. At mission elapsed time, 3 days, 17 hours, 34 minutes. This is Mission Control Houston. This is Mission Control Houston at 3 days, 17 hours, 55 minutes. Anticipating AOS through Merritt Island Land Station in just a few seconds, and crew sleep period has expired, so we rather expect a wake-up call here momentarily.
Challenger Houston on UHF. Challenger Houston on UHF.
Loud and clear, Houston. How me?
Roger, got you loud and clear. We had no luck with TDRS this pass, and we also have been having a problem with S-band G-Stadan over Mila, Bermuda. We've got about a minute and a half to go UHF here, and I've got a couple of notes when you're ready to copy.
Roger, Brian. Go ahead.
Post-sleep activity. First, perform manual cabin atmosphere management by repressing with N2 per the Orbit Ops checklist, page 5-10. Reminder, do not perform N2 repress concurrent with WCS use. Second, on panel R1, O2 cryo tank heaters A and B2 to off, and the H2 tank 3 heaters A and B2 to off. And finally, dump tank Bravo to 10%. Should take about 38 minutes. Over.
Okay, page 5-10, repress with N2 is not compatible with WCS operation. The tank 3 heaters are off, and dump tank Bravo to 10%.
Roger, and we just got data back, and good morning to you.
Good morning, Brian. Dan and I have been up a few minutes, and the other guys were getting them up now.
Okay. And Challenger Houston, we're about to go LOS. We'll see you next at Dakar at 1806.
We'll go Dakar at 1806. See you there.
This is Mission Control at Houston at 3 days, 18 hours, 1 minute mission elapsed time. The S-band downlink from the vehicle wasn't received initially through the Mila station because the ground had neglected to command the power amplifiers on board Challenger to an on position, which would enable that downlink. And that's been remedied, and the wake-up call was acknowledged via UHF by Mission Commander Richard Truly. That command was sent through the Bermuda station, and downlink data was received immediately thereafter. And we have 4 minutes remaining until we reacquire signal. And that acquisition will be through Madrid. This is Mission Control at Houston. The next acquisition of signal will be through Dakar, and it will occur in about 2.5 minutes. It's an extremely low elevation pass, though maximum elevation during the pass is 1.4 degrees over the horizon, so the planning team ENCO is not anticipating a very strong signal to the vehicle through this pass. Mission elapsed time is presently 3 days, 18 hours, 4 minutes. This is Mission Control Houston. It's Mission Control Houston, about 30 seconds away from AOS through Dakar. And in the absence of any outcry of concern to the contrary, the scheduled 9 o'clock change of shift briefing with Flight Director Jay Green will be canceled, inasmuch as there have been no significant events or incidents through the evening and through his planning shift. Flight Director Randy Stone and the Orbit 1 team of flight controllers have arrived in mission control and are tagging up with the off-going flight controllers and preparing for handover. Mission elapsed time 3 days, 18 hours, 6 minutes, and we should be getting voice momentarily through Dakar. This is Mission Control Houston.
morning, Dr. Thornton.
Dr. Thornton passes his good morning. He's already hard at work in his office.
Roger that, we figured. And Challenger Houston, this Dakar pass is low elevation. We've got you for about 2 minutes.
Okay, well, we don't have anything for you, and we're just starting into the post-sleep procedures.
Roger, Dan. We don't have anything. We're just standing by. Challenger Houston, we're going LOS. We'll see you next at Indian Ocean at 1824.
See you there.
This is Mission Control Houston at 3 days, 18 hours, 11 minutes mission elapsed time. The wake-up call this morning was the University of North Carolina fight song in tribute to one of its alumnus, Dr. Bill Thornton. And let's see, we've lost signal through Dakar, and we will acquire in about 13 and a half minutes through Indian Ocean. This is Mission Control Houston. Challenger Houston, Indian Ocean for 5 minutes.
Roger, Brian, loud and clear.
And we have you the same, and we're standing by.
Okie doke. I hear the teleprinter clicking, Brian. I thought y'all were out of touch.
And Challenger Houston, Richard, we're sending a PDRS message for you and also some news. Challenger Houston, we're going LOS. We'll see you next at Yarragadee at 18+40.
Roger, Brian. We'll see you there.
Challenger Houston, with you at Yarragadee for 5.5 minutes.
Roger, Houston, loud and clear. I was just reading the world news you sent up to us.
Okay, Richard, got you loud and clear, and we're standing by.
Roger. Houston, Challenger.
Go ahead.
Roger, Brian. This particular attitude, looking out these top windows, is really spectacular. And when we go back in it tonight, I'd like you to tell the Earth Ops people that we're planning on putting a couple of these Australian passes on TV. It's severe clear across most of western and southern Australia.
Okay, we'll sure tell them that. Challenger Houston, about to go LOS. We'll see you next at Auroral in just a couple minutes at 18+49. And an update to the news, the Astros just finished playing again, and they beat the Cubs again 6-5. So they're 5.5 out.
Outstanding. And you can tell ECOM we're repressurizing with N2 now.
Roger.
And Houston CDR, while we're up and watching things, okay if we reopen the vacuum vent?
Stand by. That's affirmative.
Okay.
And we'll see you at Auroral in 2 minutes.
Okay. Okay, and we are planning on doing a cleaning job on the gate valve later on.
Roger.
Mission Control Houston, 3 days, 18 hours, 47 minutes mission elapsed time. Have a brief gap in communications as the orbiter passes between the stations of Yargity and Auroral in Australia. Be picking up again in about 1 minute and 20 seconds over the Auroral station. We do expect to have communication through the tracking data relay satellite as we get up on in about 15 minutes. This is Mission Control.
Challenger Houston with you, Auroral, for 2 minutes.
Roger, Houston, loud and clear. Houston, Challenger.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Brian, we were kind of expecting pre-launch that on this extra day we were going to do some tail glow, and I noticed it didn't show up in there, and it was so spectacular last night. In fact, because we were expecting some, we brought an extra roll of film, so I just took inventory. I have 3 rolls of glow experiment film left, and I was wondering if during the day you guys could maybe work up a little bit of a plan, so tonight after we go into the EOIM attitude, that we could just set that camera up and try and invent a better way of positioning it, and then just every time we came in tonight we could do some tail glow pictures.
Okay, Dan, stand by. We'll talk to you some more about that next time we get you at Tidris.
Okay, there's no rush. We got until tonight, but it was just something that I was thinking about.
Okay, we're about to go LOS. We'll see you at Tidris at 1903. And if that doesn't work, Mila at 1923.
Okay, we'll be ready.
And the next people you talk to will be the Orbit 1 team. Have a good day.
Brian, I'd like to commend your shift, all the guys that have been working on it. The way that you guys have gotten us started every morning has been absolutely outstanding, and we really appreciate it.
Okay, I guess you're not holding the fact that it took us 7 tries to get the music up this morning against us.
Life's a trap.
Mission Control Houston, we have loss of signal through Auroral. We'll pick up the spacecraft again in about 11 minutes when we get within the range of the tracking data relay satellite. That comes about on this pass at about 168 degrees west longitude. We're on the last part of orbit number 61, and the crew is reviewing their teleprinter messages, getting ready for the day's activities. Payload's officer here in Mission Control reported that the second firing of the apogee kick motor on the inset, that is the final burn of that rocket motor to circularize the orbit of the Indian national satellite, was successful. That occurred about 11 hours ago. It was a 24-minute and 45-second long burn. In about another 12 and a half hours, the controllers at the Payload's command center in India for the satellite will deploy the solar array on the satellite to its full-up position, and it should be in business once it drifts to its final location. Mission Control Houston, 3 days, 19 hours, 17 minutes mission elapsed time. Challenger on orbit number 62. We did not end up getting used to the TDRS this time. White Sands having a ground problem. We will acquire over the Mila station in about 6.5 minutes. This is Mission Control Houston.
Challenger, this is Houston with you over the States for 10 minutes.
Roger, Houston, loud and clear.
For loud and clear too, Richard. Good morning.
Good morning, Mary. How you all doing this morning? Is this evening?
Well, now it's the morning. We've all switched over, and we're all doing real well. Sounds like you are too.
You bet. We just started the roll Star Trek align from the EOIM attitude, and everything's looking good on board. We're just getting ready to eat a little breakfast.
We'll have a good breakfast, and we'll try not to bother you.
Okay, things are going good on board this morning. We're all set. Hey, Mary, what time is it in Houston?
It's 20:58 local.
Okay, thanks.
And for Dan, we have, Jeff has a little discussion set up on the glow photography, and anytime he's ready today, Jeff will do a data dump with him.
Okay, he said he'd catch him after breakfast if that's all right.
That's fine, anytime he's ready.
Houston, CDR looks like PP02 sensor Bravo is acting up again, and it's just bumping the 3.6 limit.
Roger, Dick. Ecom confirms that, but he thinks it'll settle out.
Okay, we'll just keep an eye on it and not do anything. Houston, CDR.
This is Houston, go ahead.
Yeah, I just thought I'd make the comment to you that as we're in this roll Star Tracker alignment, the glow, even though there are no jets firing right now, just off in the flight deck and looking at the tail of the orbiter, the glow is moving around as the velocity vector moves around. It's unlike the glow that we saw when we were in the EOIM attitude.
That sounds amazing.
It really is, and it's easily visible to the naked eye.
Okay, Richard, we copy that. Thanks.
Houston, Challenger.
This is Houston. Go ahead, Challenger.
Mary, this is Thornton. Could you pass a couple of messages along for me?
Sure could, Bill. If they aren't too long, we're about a minute and a half from LOS. But go ahead.
Okay. Dr. Tom Moore asked if he can find where the spare eye hand tapes are stowed. Also, to determine if the sound pressure level meter is on board, the noise meter is on board, and finally, you might advise Dr. Young that the contact lens are in, and I'm trying to make it stick.
Okay, fine. We'll pass those on.
Thank you.
And Challenger, this is Houston. We're 30 seconds LOS. We'll talk to you again through Dakar at 19 plus 39. That's about 5 minutes.
Thank you.